For 45 years, heartbreak has plagued Falmouth. Since 1980, the Cape Cod crown has stayed just out of reach. And last season, the Commodores took a step backward.
2024 season comes to an end on a rainy night at Spillane Field as the Gatemen close it out and defeat the Commodores.
But this summer, everything changes. A new era begins at Fuller Field with a new voice in the dugout. 2013 World Series champion Jared Saltalamacchia is here to lead the charge.
Swinging a line, right base hit into left field. That's the ball game. The Red Sox have rallied to win game 2. They've won it. The Sox have won it 6-5. Jared Saltalamacchia with a walk-off base hit.
New leadership, new hunger, and one mission: bring Cape Cod glory back to Falmouth. So wherever you are, sit down and get ready. The doors are on the air. This is Falmouth Commodores baseball, and it starts right now.
We welcome you to Opening the Door before a game between the Bourne Braves and your Falmouth Commodores, alongside Andrew Della Piana and Ryan Martin. William Rosen on hand. Andrew, the story of the night last night as Falmouth lost to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks 5-2. Runners couldn't score.
Yeah, it's as simple as what we've talked about all season long. You get those runners into scoring position. 14 left on base last night. The biggest bugaboo, I'd say, though, 6 of the 9 innings you left 2 or more runners on base, and that just flat out can't happen. You're taking on one of the better offensive teams last night in Hyannis. You really got to cash in when you get those chances to do so.
Ryan, the Bourne Braves started out slow, but right now they're picking up some momentum.
They certainly did, William. You look at the first 6 games of the season for this Bourne team. A 1-4-1 start has turned into 3 straight wins, a 4-4-1 record, and now it's the Bravos with a chance to go over 500, a team that's won 2 of its last 3 games in that 3-game winning streak by just a run.
Andrew, returning to Bourne is Jared Saltalamacchia, a former coach on this Brave staff.
Yeah, the big storyline as we go into tonight is the return of Jared Saltalamacchia. His first game here at Doran Park since August 12th. Look, he was a winner here for 3 years. 3 West Division titles, 2 rings on his finger here with the Bravo. It's going to be a bittersweet return, if you will, but it's nice to have him on the Commodore side of things this time around.
Well, thanks, guys. Bourne and Falmouth coming up next. Yeah, thanks, guys. Here with manager Jared Saltalamacchia. Of the Commodores. Coach, you had 2 seasons here in Bourne. What were some memories that you had on this coaching bench?
Well, 3 seasons here. So first 2 years we won the championship. Last year we lost in the championship game. Great memories, great group of kids. Just thinking back of all the guys that we've had over the years that end up getting drafted. Some of them are already in the big leagues. Some of them are still doing their thing in minor leagues or, in a big college somewhere. Just great memories. I mean, it's a great place to play. Fans are great. The president, the GMs, all that stuff. But, being with Scott Landers, he really kind of started my career in the college world, and I can't be more grateful to him.
Added an extra year. They come together so quickly. When you're here with your new team, what's your message heading into today?
Same as always. I mean, it doesn't matter who you're playing. We got to win games, and obviously division, games are more important. We need to win those and try and kind of move up the leaderboard. We're still early. We're not even in the 10th game yet, so there's a lot of games left. But every one of these games is important.
You've had some struggles getting the bats swinging. What was your message last night you spoke to your team?
We actually talked today. The message to them is continue doing what you've been doing. I mean, they've been hitting the ball hard, just kind of right to people. The biggest change and adjustment we need to make is the guys in scoring position. We need to do a better job of finding a way. Man on third, infield back, get the ball on the ground. You don't have to hit the ball in the air or in the gap. Just get the ball on the ground, get the guy in. Every run is a must and a premium here.
Well, thank you, Salty. We appreciate it. Guys, back to you.
For the first time in 317 days, manager of the Falmouth Commodores, Jared Soltolamakiu, makes his return to Bourne Park, but now as the manager of the Commodores, alongside Ryan Martin. I'm Andrew Delpiano. Welcome to Game 10 of the Cape Cod Baseball League season between the Falmouth Commodores and the Bourne Braves. And Ryan, let's start right there. Jared Soltolamakiu, 3 seasons with this Bourne team as an assistant under Scott Landers. Pretty successful here. 3 years, 3 titles with the West Division, and 2 rings on his finger with the Braves.
Yeah, I would say so, my friend. You mentioned those 3 times that Soltolamakiu was here with the Bourne Braves and was playing and coaching into mid-August. And all 3 of those seasons, winning 2 titles back-to-back, of course, in 2022 and 2023 with this Bravos team. Now making the journey a little bit more east, going from Bourne down to Main Street in Falmouth. First-year field manager with the Commodores. He was a busy man pre-game today. Couple interviews, couple discussions, a lot of smiles, handshakes, and hugs with members of this Bourne Braves organization.
We heard him a little bit earlier from our 3rd member of our crew, and William Rosen. Scott Landers, the head coach of the Braves, said it's one of the toughest assistants he's ever had to let go, and for good reason, as now he stands on the other side. As now we send things over to our national anthem between Commodores and Braves coming up in just a little bit.
Fans, this past offseason, the Falmouth Commodores and the entire Cape Cod Baseball League community lost a beloved member of the family, Falmouth field manager Jeff Trumby, who led the Commodores for 26 seasons and was known throughout the league as Gentleman Jeff. He will be deeply missed. We now ask that you please bow your heads for a moment of silence in honor of Coach Trumby. Thank you. Please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem.
anthems have been sung, the lineups have been read, and we are just about ready for
And throwing out
baseball.
tonight's ceremony
Between
of
the
first base is
Commodores,
Amy Venrin, Chief Program Officer. Amy leads the strategic
back
vision
here on
development
Cape League
and
TV
execution of
alongside
team
Ryan
impact
Martin.
core
I'm
programming,
Andrew Delpiana.
ensuring a
First
high-quality
meeting of the
experience for
season
all the
between these
children and
two
families
West
and their
Divisions.
college athlete teammates.
West Division rivals
Joining Amy
separated
on the
by
field
just
is
about
using our
20
7
minutes.
kids who are part of
Falmouth
Team
comes
Max
into this
Impact.
one listed at
Lindsay
3-6
will be
and
throwing
a
out the first
3-game
pitch
losing
today.
streak.
The
Ryan,
match was
things have not been
Birmingham
pretty over the
State
last couple of games for the
softball.
Commodores.
No, they certainly
Season
haven't,
was
Andrew.
not
You look at how
UMass
that
Falmouth
weekend
football.
has turned into the league-wide
Aurora
off day
and
on
Fisher
Monday,
Layla
and then the
with
loss
Stonehill women's
yesterday on
hockey.
Tuesday,
Thomas with
5-2
Stonehill men's
against the
hockey.
Hyannis Harbor
Kane
Hawks. That's a loss to
Stonehill baseball.
Hyannis,
And finally,
YD,
Ethan,
and
who
then
is
at
now
Wareham. So back on the road where the
Academy
Commodores are
football.
2-2 so far on the
Lindsay,
season.
take
The
it
question
away.
is, what kind of Commodores team are you going to get, as it's been up and down 3-6 start?
I really think you hit the nail on the head when we got off that broadcast last night. Said Falmouth is
Thank you to
finding
everyone
different
for
ways
tuning
to
in back
lose
to
every
join us
night.
tonight. You can
Bourne,
learn
on the
more
other
about
hand,
Team
doing the
Impact at
complete
People Team
opposite,
Sessions
winners
by
of 3
visiting
straight.
or by
And it's
visiting
really been done by
teamimpact.org.
the way of the pitching staff. They come in as the worst ERA in the league right now at 4.56, but these last 3 games only allowing 7 runs to really get them back on track after a rough start.
I think it's all about the control for the Bravos pitching staff. One stat that we've talked about before, and we'll probably bring up a few more times. This is a Braves team that through 9 games of the season, Andrew, has yet to give up a home run. They won't lose to the long ball. The Commodores, meanwhile, have hit the most home runs on Cape Cod with 9 so far this season. But it's just control and keeping these games close. Again, the Braves on this 3-game winning streak. 2 of them have been by 1 run or by 1 run, including that walk-off a few days ago from Braden Holcomb. You'll see him in the lineup today. And then last night, that 2-1 win at Orleans.
Well, let's meet that Falmouth lineup. That will go against the lefty, Matt Shorey, for the Braves, Ryan.
Yeah, Andrew, there's a couple familiar names, especially atop the lineup. Leading it off is the right fielder, Antonio Morales, then the shortstop, Adrian Lopez, center fielder, Mike Anu, and in the cleanup spot is the catcher, Bear Harrison. 5 through 7, middle of the order, go Kyle Morrison from Southern Miss, the second baseman, the Georgia Tech first baseman, Ken Schmidt. At 7 is the designated hitter, Mark Quattroni. Last 2, it's the Cal left fielder, Carl Schmidt, and Justin Osterhaus, the third baseman from Alabama, will be the lineup for Caden Eschman, the newest University of Kentucky Wildcat, on the mound tonight.
Yeah, we'll see that arm in the bottom of the first, but let's meet the defense behind Matt Shorey, the redshirt sophomore from Vanderbilt. At left, it's Logan Hughes. In center, John LeGrand. In right, Nick Groves. Down the third base line, it's Braden Holcomb. At shortstop, Ryan Clooney. At the second base spot is Gavin Kelly. Guarding first base, Jacob Craig, with Campbell Smithwick doing the catching for Shorey. A beautiful 83 degrees, a little bit of cloud in the sky, but mostly sunny throughout the day here in Bourne. And our umpires for today's game, behind home plate, Ruben Rodriguez. Down the first base line, Thomas Augusta. And guarding
Now
third
batting
base
from Wake
is
Forest, number 2,
Timothy
Antonio
Carey.
Morales.
Antonio Morales digs in from the left side to take on the lefty, Matt Shorey, the redshirt sophomore from Vanderbilt. His first offer is a called strike on the outer third, and we are underway at 6:03 p.m. on this Wednesday night.
Been treated to a couple early starts at Gov Fuller Field. This will just pass the 6 o'clock hour.
0-1 taken outside on the slider by Morales. Stands in at 5'9", 175 pounds, the rising junior after 2 seasons at Wake Forest, taking his talents to College Park in Maryland. Is third in the league in on-base percentage so far, 1-1. Taken just outside. Went to the fastball on that one at 89 miles per hour from Shorey. Morales getting on base about 49% of the time through these first 9 games. He's been Mr. Consistent for Jared Saltomachia in year 1. 2-1. Is a fastball that's poked the other way towards left field. Hughes back at the track at the wall and makes the grab, backpedaling for out number 1.
I think that ball had good carry the opposite way for the lefty Morales into left field. This Maryland Terrapin cranks that one 316 feet, but no real problem for Logan Hughes in left.
Now batting from Southern California, number 18, Adrian
Now here's the
Lopez.
righty Adrian Lopez in his second game back. Was hit in the head with a pitch on the 15th, just about last week in a game against Brewster. Did make his return last night, going 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Still looking for that first hit of the season. The first offering from Shorey is in there for a called strike on the inner half.
I love the confidence that first-year field manager has. Jared Saltomachia has in Lopez. We saw him batting third as DH yesterday. Now in just his second game back, still batting second.
Rising junior from USC. The 0-1. Pokes it the other way and tails out of the ballpark. Quickly 0-2. Lopez has owned that shortstop and middle infield position for the Trojans most of this past season after transferring out of Long Beach State.
Here's the 0-2. Way up and in for ball one. For Shorey this season, his third appearance, his first start has been really solid so far. Has not given up a run yet in 4 1/3 innings of work. 3 walks to 7 strikeouts. 1-2 is a fastball that Lopez cracks off the end of the bat and once again foul out of play. Lopez was a .332 hitter this season with USC. Made 52 starts in 54 games for USC, just sneaking to the Big Ten tournament. 1-2 is a breaking ball just outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That came after just a .225 average his freshman year at Long Beach State. Much improved after the big move to the Big Ten. Shorey takes a look down at his glove, kicks and deals the 2-2. Fastball, Lopez spoils it back to the screen. It is a 4-pitch mix for Shorey. The fastball, slider, changeup, and curve. You'll see the fastball just about 55% of the time, like we just did on that pitch. Tops out around 90 miles per hour. Here's 2-2. Another breaking ball. Lopez sits back on it and rockets it into right for a base hit. First hit of the season for Adrian Lopez in the first hit of the night for the Doors, thanks to the 1-out single.
That's what Falmouth needed to start this top of the first inning after this 3-game losing streak, and that's what Adrian Lopez needed in game number 4 on his season. Andrew, now make him 1 for 9 on the campaign thus far. One of the most happy-go-lucky guys in this Commodores team. He's got a smile, as he always does, now at first base.
Another guy who always has a smile is Micah Newt. Digs in from the right side. The rising senior currently in the transfer portal. First offering from Shorey. Newt takes it towards left field. Going to be a long run for Hughes. Back to the track. The diving effort. Oh, he made the grab. Just in front of the Bourne bullpen for out number 2. A leaping effort from the All-American outfielder.
Earning some deserved high fives as well from the Bravos bullpen out there. That had a front row seat to that spectacular catch there by Hughes. We saw some great catches last night, Andrew, between Hyannis and Falmouth, and that Harbor Hawks win at the Gov yesterday. Now starting this one off early on the top of the first with a good catch and left by Logan Hughes.
That was well struck by Newt, 97 miles per hour off the bat, but Hughes diving to his right for out number 2. Scoreless in the top of the first. Cleanup spot for Bear Harrison. First pitch from the southpaw is just below the knees for ball 1. Couple of nice plays already out and left for Logan Hughes, who, as you'll hear next inning, really powerful with the bat, can also flash the left. His fastball to Harrison tips off the end of the bat, fouls back to the screen. This just being the second lefty Falmouth faces this season. They've been solid against left-handed pitching so far. .234 average compared to righties 182. Long look in from Shorey. Kicks and deals. Inside. 2 balls, 1 strike to Harrison. Rising junior from Texas A&M. Tied for 4th in the league with 2 home runs, both those coming in the same night last week, and a 14-5 victory over Orleans. Two-1. Slider tails inside. 3 balls, 1 strike to Harrison. We're scoreless in the top of the first. 3-1 count to the rising junior from Texas A&M. Adrian Lopez over at first, thanks to the 1-out single. Shorey checks his glove. Checks Lopez at first. And comes home. Harrison pops it up, sky high over our heads just behind home plate and out of play. Already a nice long inning of work for the Commodores against Shorey. Here is pitch number 18 on the way with a 3-2. Here it is. Harrison gets a piece of it once more and slaps it foul down the third base line. Ends up in the Bourne dugout.
Love the fight from the last couple of Falmouth batters. We saw Adrian Lopez work a couple of foul balls before poking one the other way into right field. Now Bear Harrison protecting with a full count.
Lopez was off on that pitch thanks to the 3-2 count and 2 outs. He'll be off again once more once this one is delivered. Here's another payoff. It's up and away for ball 4. So it's an 8-pitch walk for Bear Harrison. Runners at first and second for Falmouth. Still scoreless in the top of the first.
Now batting
And
from
kind of the
South
story of what we've
Alabama,
seen this
number
season, Ryan, of
17,
Falmouth
Kyle
getting
Morrison.
runners on base, but you really got to cash in when you have them on.
One of the most telling stories, I think, from yesterday's 5-2 loss against Hyannis. 14 runners left on base, and in 6 of the 9 innings, the Commodores left 2 or more runners on.
Well, they got 2 runners on here for the lefty, Kyle Morrison. First pitch. It's a breaking ball. Morrison, a high chopper first base side, corralled by Jacob Craig. Flip over to first, Shorey covering, and that does it for the top of the first. Ryan just hit the nail on the head once more. 2 runners left on base after no runs on just 1 hit, and the 2 left on base. We go to the bottom of the first. We'll hear the Bourne bats for the first time. We'll meet the Bravos lineup after a short break on Cape League TV.
On behalf of the Cape Cod Baseball League, we would like to thank the following league partners for their continued support: 99 Restaurants, Badger Sports, the Baldwin Group, Bluebird Dennisport, Bridgewater State University, Cape Destinations. And of course, thank you to Major League Baseball for over 50 years of support.
Between the Falmouth Commodores and the Bourne Braves. Bottom of the first, scoreless between Falmouth and Bourne. And now let's meet that Bourne starting lineup. Ryan Martin, take it away.
Yeah, it's a lefty-heavy lineup, Andrew. 5 lefties for the Bravos. It gets started with the lefty and John LeGrand, the center fielder. Then second baseman from West Virginia, Gavin Kelly. Designated hitter today is Cade Lewis from Wake Forest. Cleanup man is the Vanderbilt third baseman, Braden Holcomb. 5 through 7 reads left fielder Logan Hughes. First baseman, Jacob Craig. And the catcher, Campbell Smithwick. Bottom 2, it's a couple of Big Ten guys, and Oregon shortstop Ryan Cooney and Illinois right fielder Nick Groves. Shouldn't be too surprised. As we mentioned too, it's Matt Shorey, the Vanderbilt left-handed pitcher, on the mound for the Bravos, but this is a Braves lineup that has to contest with the right-hander from Kentucky and Caden Eschman, his 3rd start on the summer.
Yeah, he's got the 3rd most strikeouts in the league right now. His defense behind him, Carl Schmidt in left, Micah New in center, Antonio Morales in right, Justin Osterhaus at 3rd, Adrian Lopez at short, Kyle Morrison at 2nd, Kent Schmidt over at 1st, with Bear Harrison doing the catching for Eschman. He's been very impressive so far in his first 2 starts, just allowing 4 runs so far through 8 innings on the job. First to meet him is John LeGrand, the lefty from St. John's. First pitch from Eschman is a fastball right over the heart of the plate for strike 1. LeGrand just wrapping up his 2nd season in the Queens after a freshman year at Wabash Valley College. 0-1. Swing and a miss. Eschman blew the fastball right by him at 91. LeGrand currently 10 for 35 this season, tied for the 2nd most hits in the league. 0-2. Fastball, and he burned it right by him, but the third base umpire, Tim Carey, said he did not go around on the check swing.
Eschman showing off that heater early, fastball that hits 92. It's part of his 5-pitch mix.
1 ball and 2 strikes. The pitch. Breaking ball doesn't drop in. Just outside. And it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. That curveball we've seen a whole lot from Eschman this summer. It has been lethal. It's been that strikeout pitch. A beautiful 12-6 drop. Does he throw it again on the 2-2? Here it is. Elects to go to the fastball, and it's below the knees. 3 balls and 2 strikes. For LeGrand this season, All Big East first team after a first season of a JUCO All-American member. 3-2 on the way. Fastball, it's up and away for ball 4. And after falling behind in the count 0-2, he earns a 6-pitch walk.
Ashman rarely gives away that free pass so far in the season, Andrew. We mentioned those 2 appearances already for Ashman. And across those 8 innings pitched, he has 15 strikeouts. That's only the 4th walk he's conceded.
So the leadoff man is on for Bourne, scoreless in the bottom of the 1st. Here's Gavin Kelly from the right side, the rising sophomore from West Virginia. His teammate and Robbie Orko just joined Falmouth a little earlier today. First offering is right down the heart of the plate for strike 1.
This Commodores team that had a lot of Mountaineers on its preseason roster ended up getting Porco as the first West Virginia player to be on the doors in 2025.
0-1. Breaking ball just below the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike. For Kelly this season, part of the Big 12 All-Freshman team, first Mountaineer to be named to the All-Freshman team since 2022. Just his 3rd game of the season as well. Was 3 for 4 last night in the victory over Orleans. 1-1. Catches the inside corner with the fastball. 91 miles per hour once again from Eshman. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Eshman stands at the 3rd base side of the bump. The pitch, swing and a miss. Went to the changeup on this one, just to the top right part of the zone, and it's out number 1 thanks to strikeout number 1
Now
for Caden
batting
Eshman.
from Wake Forest, number 23, Cade Lewis.
Those 2 breaking balls that you mentioned, the 12-6 curve and the changeup that slows down all the way to 83 miles an hour. I like that mix and the usage against Gavin Kelly for Eshman to earn the strikeout.
Throws that curveball about 20% of the time. Here's the lefty Cade Lewis with 1 gone. The pitch, just above the letters. Lewis, a rising junior at Wake Forest after a freshman season at Butler. Also has 10 hits so far, tied with Kelly for 2nd most on the Cape. 1-1. It's a breaking ball, popped up sky high, gonna be shallow left field. Schmidt runs onto it, but it's Lopez who calls him off at the top of the grass, reels it in for out number 2. So after the leadoff walk issued by Eshman,
Now batting
he's
from
got a strikeout
Vanderbilt,
to
number
Gavin Kelly,
34,
a pop out
Braden
to
Holcomb.
short by Cade Lewis. And here's one of the most dangerous men on the Cape right now in Braden Holcomb.
Intimidating looking as well into the right-handed batter's box. 6'5", 240. For a guy who actually with some speed, too. He's tied for 3rd most in the league in stolen bases. We'll see if he can get on his first plate appearance.
A rising junior from Orlando, Florida. The pitch, outside. Really does use that big frame to his advantage. Had the walk-off single on Monday night against Gatuit. He's got a tattoo on his right arm that says, "Pressure is privilege." And he delivered that. The 1-0. Runner takes off, breaking ball in the dirt. It's called for a ball. Throw down to 2nd, gets away. But it's a stolen base for John LeGrand as that ball was a little bit short from Bear Harrison.
Harrison throws down on the breaking ball that only hit 80 miles an hour from Eshman, so always did more difficult on the catcher to throw down with a curveball or changeup, as Harrison does. I think that toss down to 2nd actually hit LeGrand as he slid into the 2nd base bag.
Runner on 2nd, 2 gone in the bottom of the 1st. Doors and Braves tied at 0 apiece. 2-0. There's a fastball off the end of the bat and fouled on the 1st base side. The only thing that's really been the big downfall so far for Holcomb this summer has been the strikeouts. He's got 11 so far. That's tied for 6th in the league. But he's been clutch in a couple moments this season, including that walk-off back on Monday, and then an RBI double to beat Orleans a little bit earlier this season. 2-1. Just at the letters for a called strike. Holcomb doesn't think so. A little bit of a shake of his head as he steps back in, readjusts the batting gloves from the right side. Eshman takes a look at 2nd. Comes home on the 2-2. Goes to the breaking ball, gets away from Harrison. Holcomb went around, the ball gets to the backstop. LeGrand heading towards home, and he is safe. So LeGrand goes from 2nd to home on the wild pitch. and it's 1-0 Bourne.
Well, Andrew, the biggest part of that sequence was it was a 2-2 count on Holcomb. So the check swing for Holcomb. They applied down to Thomas Augusta, the first base umpire. Of course, if that's a strikeout, it doesn't matter what LeGrand is doing on the base path. So Barrett Harrison takes his look up from the catcher position, looks at the first base umpire in Augusta. Meanwhile, LeGrand is going from second to home.
Either way, it works out in the Braves' favor to take a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the first. Still 2 gone with a 3-2 count to Holcomb. Ashman gets back to the windup. And it's 3-2. Fastball inside, and it's ball 4. So a pair of walks issued in this inning. And already pitching coach Todd Carroll is going to have a quick meeting with Ashman. Had a little bit of a walk problem his last time out, where 2 of his 3 came in that outing. But other than that, he has been Mr. Consistent on the bump. And already a quick mound visit with the rest of the infield.
And that play right there with the check swing on Holcomb, just such a tough break for the Commodores, who've had a pretty tough break through the first 9 games of the season in this 3-6 record. Again, LeGrand goes from second to third on the stolen base attempt and doesn't even slide, just knows that he's going to go from second to home. Interesting play you really don't see too often.
Just some good heads-up base running by LeGrand, who was also known for his quickness this past season with the Red Storm. 33 stolen bases, that was top 25 in the nation. Of course, led the Big East. Here's the lefty Logan Hughes, who's also been a dangerous bat so far. First in the league in slugging percentage and OPS. Runner on first is Holcomb with 2 gone. 1-0 Bourne in the bottom of the first. The pitch. It's a fastball taken right at the knees for strike 1. Hughes tied with Bear Harrison for 4th in the league with 2 home runs. One of them coming last night in Orleans, the game-winning home run at the top of the 9th. 1-0. Breaking ball off the end of the bat, right at the second baseman Morrison, but he lost it in the sun. Gets out to right field. Holcomb will run up to third, and there's runners at the corners for the Braves. Oh, Morrison didn't see it at all.
It's been a sunny day on Cape Cod all day long, Andrew. It's turned into a Bourne Park field that's littered with shadows. The second baseman Morrison, I think he actually put his hand up to his face as if the ball was about to hit him on the liner that only got off the bat at 63 miles an hour. Runners on the corners now.
They're going to call that a hit for Logan Hughes. That put Holcomb up to third. Jacob Craig stands in from the right side. One of the Cave's largest figures at 6'5", 240 pounds. Ashman looking to get out of this inning with just the 1 run allowed. Going to be tough to do so. His first offering is a curveball, drops in beautifully, starts in at the letters, ends at the belt buckle. Greg really known for his power. At Oregon State this past season, 14 home runs after 9 a season ago. The 0-1, breaking ball, popped up and slicing foul down the first base side. Made his Cape League debut last night, going 0 for 4. Strikeouts was a huge problem for him this season, 70 after 66 last year. Runners at first and third. The 0-2. Elects to go to the fastball, just a bit high. So far, a run has already come in for Bourne after a wild pitch from Eshman got away from Harrison. LeGrand scoring from second to home. 1-2. Breaking ball way outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Runner going to head down to second. It's going to be a pickle with Hughes. Throw down to home is in time. What a dart from Kyle Morrison at second base. And they catch Holcomb trying to steal home. And a nice way to get out of it for Caden Eshman. So for the Braves, it's just the 1 run on 1 hit. No errors with just 1 left on base. Bourne takes the lead though, 1-0 Braves through 1 here from Doran Park. Just getting started on Cape League TV.
Authentic Cape Cod dining is right down the road at Jim's Clam Shack. Open seasonally for over 50 years, Jim's Clam Shack features oceanfront views with all of the lobster, shrimp, burgers, and clams you could ask for. Stop by Jim's Clam Shack, located at 227 Quinton Avenue right here in Falmouth, to hit your next meal out of the park. That's Jim's Clam Shack at 227 Quinton Avenue, Falmouth.
I'm Coleman Mizell, outfielder from Alabama, and you're listening to Commodores Baseball on Cape League TV.
Well, after a wacky first inning that had plenty of close calls at home plate, it's just 1-0 Bourne over Falmouth as we go to the top of the second. Back alongside Ryan Martin, I'm Andrew Del Piano. 6, 7, 8 due up for Falmouth in this frame, and a couple of close plays at home plate. The wild pitch that allowed John LeGrand to score, and a nice play by Kyle Morrison cutting off that stolen base attempt at second to catch the runner stealing home.
It's about as action-packed of a 1-0 first inning as you'll see here at Bourne Park between the visiting Commodores and the hosting Braves. Really nice plays. Play at second base for Morrison, gets lost in the sun, but then he makes up for it with the throw home to gun down Holcomb.
Now batting from Georgia Tech, number 10, Kent Schmidt.
Lefty on lefty to start this second frame. Matt Shorey, the rising junior from Vanderbilt, against another rising junior from Georgia Tech in Kent Schmidt. He's had a rough start off to his 2025 summer, just 4 for 25 so far in 7 games. First pitch is a fastball taken just on the outside corner for strike one. Kent Schmidt feeling a little bit better last night after a 1-for-4 effort. The 0-1. Ropes it to the shortstop on one hop, collected by Cooney, and fires across for out number 1. Just about the 7th inning last night, Schmidt, for the 4th time in 2 games, had the bases loaded. Eventually drove in 2 runs to get Falmouth back in that one, but eventually losing that ball game 5-2 to Hyannis.
And in all 4 of those instances, Schmidt came up with the base loaded in 2 outs.
True.
First 3 times he got out, but then you mentioned the RBI single.
There's Mark Quattrani from the right side. The first pitch is inside, nearly catches him across his belt buckle. Went 0 for 3 last night with a walk. The pitch popped up foul over our heads behind home plate. Quickly 0-2. Excuse me, 1 ball, 1 strike. It was a big night on Friday for Quattrani with a 2-for-4 effort, 4 RBIs, including a home run. 1-1 is a breaking ball, slider, way outside. Quattrani currently in the transfer portal after 2 seasons with Cornell. 2-1 is just above the letters. 3 balls and 1 strike. Quattrani rolls over and fouls it down the third base side. Quattrani, remember, the first team All-Ivy team this season. First player in Cornell history to go back-to-back on that list in 5 years. 3-2. It's a breaking ball and it drills Quattrani. Right in the left knee. He's lingering a little bit as he drops the bat, takes off the elbow guard and limps it off heading down the first base line.
Now batting from California, number 8, Carl Schmidt.
85 miles an hour on the forward-facing left leg for Quattrani. We saw him pinch ran for by John Smith in last night's 5-2 loss against Hyannis. Seems to be okay and no need for a substitute runner here in the top of the second.
1 out with a runner on first for the righty Carl Schmidt. First offering from the lefty. Schmidt fouls it first base side. Schmidt, the redshirt sophomore from California, playing some of his best baseball right now after just an 0-for-4 start back on opening day. He's now tied for 4th in the league in average, batting over .345. 0-1. Breaking ball below the zone.
I think the decision was Schmidt from Saltamaki. Keep him at that bottom third of lineup where he's had so much success. That average looks like a bat that should be up a little bit higher, but Schmidt's liked hitting from that 8 spot recently.
He's been good. 1-1. Cracks it towards right center field. Couple of steps over for Nick Groves. Is underneath it, and he makes the grab for out number 2.
It's a much more difficult play than the right fielder Nick Groves made that look. The sun's still peeking behind the door and park press box behind home plate. Right to Groves' eyes, but those Oakley glasses are working for a reason.
2 out with a runner on first. 1-0 Braves in the top of the second. Lefty on lefty for Justin Osterhaus from the 9 spot. First pitch is a breaking ball. Osterhaus slaps it the other way, fair down the third base line. Got through the outstretched glove of Holcomb, and it's going to be a single for Osterhaus. Runners at first and second. Stop me if you heard this one with 2 outs.
So in the situation Falmouth keeps finding itself in over these last 2 games. 2 outs now, lineup card flips back over to Morales. I love that holdup at third base by third base coach and Jack O'Reilly. Quattrani had a good turnaround second, but that ball was just slowly trickling to left fielder Logan Hughes. Again, with 2 gone, that could have ended the inning.
No need to force the issue there from Quattrani at second base. Back to the top of the lineup for Antonio Morales. They fly out to left field his first time around. Shorey comes home. Breaking ball, a slider, right down the heart of the plate for strike 1. Morales currently tied for second in the league with hits with 10. The 0-1 is a fastball way outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Top 10 in hits, on base percentage, runs scored, and average. The only player for Falmouth that has started every game so far this season. 1-1. It's a breaking ball. Morales pokes it up the middle and it down for a base hit. Quattrani gets the wave round from third. The relay throw in is way over Smith with head at home. And the runners advance up to second and third. Thanks to the RBI single with the advancement from Antonio Morales, it's a 1-1 ball game.
We've been sounding like a broken record, Andrew, but the 2-out hitting for Falmouth just has to get better. And it starts with base knocks like that. Antonio Morales, who else would do it for this Falmouth team? He has his first hit of the day. And then you're exactly right, the center fielder, LeGrand, wanted to show off that arm strength. Huge throw home to the catcher and Smithwick, but a good backup by Shorey keeps Osterhaus over a third, but each runner advances 1 base, and that might be it for the Vanderbilt left-hander and Matt Shorey.
He was a relief guy these first 2 outings. Scott Landers is the one to come out of the third base dugout. Not signaling anything to the bullpen right now. As Morales is the runner at second, Osterhaus at third. After the RBI single by Morales to tie things at 1 apiece in the top of the second. It was just a quick meeting from Scott Landers with the southpaw in Shorey. 2 outs, 2 ducks in the pond still. Adrian Lopez digs in from the right side. Did have a single his first time up. 1 of 3 hits so far for the Commodores. Shorey comes set of the belt. Winds and fires. Morales goes after the first one and punches it foul down the third base side and out. Lopez was a tremendous RBI guy in the sophomore season for USC, 47 of them. The 0-1. Fastball inside, he ducks out of the way. 1 ball and 1 strike. Collected his first hit of the season, his last at-bat, now looking for that first RBI, maybe 2. 1-1. The the fastball. Lopez clocks one towards left field. Hughes going back, and he makes the grab after a hard line out off the bat at 90 miles per hour. For the Commodores, it's 1 run on 2 hits, no errors with 2 left on base. The RBI single from Antonio Morales has tied this ball game at 1 apiece as we go to the bottom of the 2nd right here on Cape League TV.
On behalf of the Cape Cod Baseball League, we would like to thank the following league partners for their continued support: Cape Space, Cape Cod 5, Cisco Brewers, Cape Cod Healthcare, Hampton Inn, Franklin Sports, Highline Cruises, Jersey Mike's, and of course, thank you to Major League Baseball for over 50 years of support.
We are all even at 1 between the Falmouth Commodores and the Bourne Braves. Game 10 of the Cape Cod Baseball League season. Back alongside Ryan Martin, I'm Andrew Del Piano. The righty Caden Eschman back out there for another inning of work. With 6, 7, 8 due up for Bourne, starting with the righty Jacob Craig, who had his at-bat interrupted the last time after caught stealing at home by Braden Holcomb. After the 1st and 3rd with 2 outs play that Scott Landers nearly pulled off. Eschman from the stretch. His first pitch is a fastball and waved right by Craig.
Good first pitch strike for Eschman, who again has already shown Craig a few pitches that he has at his disposal. Craig had about a 4 or 5 pitch at bat before it was cut short.
0-1. Breaking ball just above the letters. 1 ball, 1 strike. Talked about that power a little bit earlier about Jacob Craig. He had a home run last year that had an exit velocity of 118 miles per hour last season. The only players higher in MLB this season to do that is O'Neal Cruz and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. It's a high fly ball towards center field. New underneath it, couple steps back, and makes the grab for out number 1. So some serious power on that one. Just missed it by a hair.
Now batting from Oklahoma State, number 45, Campbell Smithwick.
One out for the lefty Campbell Smithwick, who is behind home plate today. 4 for 11 on this young season. Hasn't played since Bourne lost to Hyannis back in Game 5 last Thursday. First pitch is outside for ball 1.
He's been a little busy as well. Smithwick announcing his commitment to Oklahoma State University this morning. Or if he made a quick stop in Stillwater before getting back to Bourne.
1-0. Fastball. Called right at the letters on the outer third.
Well, there's so many different variables, again, that go into summer collegiate baseball. You commit to Oklahoma State, and he said he loved the coaches there in Stillwater. So now you have to understand what those coaches want to see out of you in your time in Bourne and how many more at-bats they'll give you here.
1-1. Fastball blows it right by him once more. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 out in the bottom of the 2nd. Braves and Commodores tied at 1 apiece. Rising junior headed to Stillwater, 2 seasons at Ole Miss, where he started 27 games. 1-2. Just inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. If you remember, Ole Miss eliminated by Murray State, who had that magical run to the College World Series this past season. Two-two. Fastball. Schmidtwick gets it off the end of the bat, foul, third base side.
It's a good program there under Josh Holliday's been there over a decade with the Cowboys. Name that comes to mind, Colin Ritchie had a couple appearances for Falmouth last season, then tears it up at Oklahoma State. We've already seen him this summer at the Wareham Gateman.
Another 2-2 on the way. Curveball, wave and a miss from the lefty. Just like that, there's 2 gone. And there's that patented curveball we've been waiting to see from Eschman. That spin rate of over 2,900 revolutions per minute.
And that 12-6 drop, 79 miles an hour. Love what you said. It starts at the chest, gets down to the belt. That one wasn't even in the zone when Smithwick went fishing.
2 up, 2 gone. Here's the righty Ryan Cooney. Pitch goes back to the curveball, right in there for strike 1. Cooney making his Bourne Brave debut last night, going 1 for 4 after wrapping up his sophomore year with the Ducks. 0-1 upstairs. 2 seasons so far at Oregon. Made 52 starts this past season after being the only true freshman to start on opening day last year. 1-1. Outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Ends up in the other batter's box. Was the #1 shortstop coming out of Portland, Oregon. Decided to stay close to home because his mother ran track in Eugene. 2-1. Fastball just outside. Eschman looking for that outside corner. Asking home plate umpire Ruben Ramirez where that one missed. Hitters count for the Oregon Duck. (3-1). Fastball and turns on it foul. Count evens up at 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Doors and Bravos tied at 1 apiece after the RBI single last half inning by Antonio Morales. Eschman stepped back up to the bump. Stands on the third base side of the mound. Is 3-2. Curveball hammered off a home plate and trickles foul down the third base line. Already 39 pitches so far for Eschman. He's been very accurate. Over 50% have been strikes. Pitch number 7 of the at-bat. Here it is. Breaking ball once again, tapped off a home plate and dubbed foul. Cooney did have 2 strikeouts last night in the victory to the Firebirds. Eschman looking to make it 3 on the season. Another 3-2. Fastball up and over the netting once more. A long, tedious at-bat from Cooney out of the 8 spot.
Mention how Eschman now over 40 pitches into an inning and change of work. That's exactly what the formula was for the Commodores bats against the Vanderbilt lefty Matt Shorey so far in this game as well.
Another 3-2. Chopped on the ground, third base side. Vacuumed up by Osterhaus. Momentum takes it over to first, and he makes the play with Kent Schmidt over at the first base bag. It's a 1-2-3 in the bottom of the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, no left on base for the Braves. Tied at 1 as we go to the third right here on Cape League TV.
Whether you own a car, home, business, or investment property, it's critical you keep it secure and protected. Since 1989, our friends at Northeast Insurance Solutions have been the trusted insurance agency to serve the Commonwealth. Visit them on the web at insurewithcom or at their offices, 100 Ledgewood Place in Rockland.
I'm Bear Harrison, catcher from Texas A&M College, and you're listening to Commodores Baseball on Cape League TV.
Welcome back to Doran Park, a beautiful night on Cape Cod. Temperatures in the low 80s. Tied at 1 apiece between the Commodores and the Braves. Back alongside Ryan Martin, I'm Andrew Della Piana. Meat and potatoes of the lineup due up for Falmouth. 3, 4, 5, starting with the righty Micah New. He's got 3 home runs on the season. That's tied for first in the league. The lefty Matt Shorey back out for another inning on the job. 3 hits allowed so far through 2 innings on the job. First pitch to New is a fastball right by him for strike 1. New had a hard line out to left field. Logan Hughes making a tremendous diving effort to his right to record that out. The 0-1, it's a breaking ball in the right batter's box. 1 ball, 1 strike. New has also scored 8 times this season. That's tied for first in the league. The 1-1 rolls over and foul third base side. Seasons at New Orleans for New. Wrapping up his junior year at Marshall, will find his 3rd home in 4 years in the fall. He's draft eligible, so it will be interesting to see if he does get his name called in the MLB draft.
And whether it's for next month's draft or his new suitor collegiately, he's a guy who's really made a name for himself on Cape Cod so far through 9 games and change.
1-2 is a fastball, foul back to the screen. Someone who definitely had a lot of power at Marshall. But again, going to those smaller, those non-power forwards, if you will, you want to make your name heard a little bit more. 1-2. It drops below the knees, 2-2.
You mentioned all those numbers as being top the league for New. I don't know if many people came in expecting the 6'1", 180-pound Marshall Hurd center fielder to be putting up those kind of stats and that kind of power.
2-2. Outside, good take. As it just misses off the black.
Some guys who just transition so well to that wooden bats. New's first season on Cape Cod, he's doing just that.
3-2. Lofts it high. Slicing down the first base side. Going to stay in play for Craig. A couple steps to his right as it slices back into fair territory. And he hauls it in. 1 out. A guy who leaves a tremendous bat in his back pocket. Has used it a whole lot to start this summer. Loved his teammates to kind of chip in as well on the offensive end. 1 out in the top of the 3rd. 1-1 between the Braves and the Commodores. Second plate appearance for Bear Harrison. Shorey looks at his glove. Winds and throws. Harrison takes a slider inside for ball 1. Inside, it hits Harrison right on the chest. Grabbing at his left side with his right hand. He's going to need a moment. 90 miles per hour. Hit him just above his left pectoral. Looks to be all right as he slowly jogs to first.
It's the second righty batter for the Commodores who's been drilled so far through this first inning and change by the left-hander in Matt Shorey. Ironically, both catchers for the Commodores. Mark Quattrani plunked in the first inning. Now Barrett Harrison plunked in the second. Or the third, I should add.
Runner on first with 1 out, top 3rd. 1-1 between Bourne and Falmouth. Lefty on lefty for Kyle Morrison. The pitch. Takes one right down Main Street for strike 1. Morrison redeeming himself in the bottom of the first. After missing a ball that got lost in the sun, throws a runner out at home. Caught stealing. The 0-1, fastball, tap foul behind home plate. And when you make a defensive mistake like that, the last thing you want to do is have it build on as well, but to cut off that throw at second and fire a laser home to get that runner stealing, got to feel good. 0-2, fouls it off.
It was a heads-up play as well when Logan Hughes was in the pickle going from first to second. He gets the ball at second. Instead, Morrison goes home to get Holcomb and save the run.
Another OT from the lefty. Swing and a miss. Blew the fastball by him at 89 miles per hour in the top of the zone. And just like that, there's 2 outs.
Now batting from
First
Georgia
strikeout
Tech,
for Matt
number
Shorey.
10, Kent
His
Schmidt.
second time through the Falmouth lineup.
Really like how the southpaw Shorey is working on pitches outside the zone, trying to get runners to chase. That's exactly what he does right there with Morrison above the letters.
Here's the lefty Kent Schmidt with Harrison at first after the one-out hit by pitch. First offering is a called strike in the outer third. Schmidt a ground out to short his first time up. That led off the top of the second inning. Neal 1. It's a slider. Taps it to second. Corralled by Kelly. Easy play over to first for out number 3. That does it for the top of the third. For Falmouth, no runs on no hits, no errors. 1 left on base. Bottom half of the third coming up. Commodores 1, Braves 1. As we roll on here on Cape League TV.
On behalf of the Cape Cod Baseball League, we would like to thank the following league partners for their continued support: Cape Space, Cape Cod 5, Cisco Brewers, Cape Cod Healthcare, Hampton Inn, Franklin Sports, Highline Cruises, Jersey Mike's, and of course, thank you to Major League Baseball for over 50 years of support.
Falmouth 1, Bourne 1, back here on Cape League TV, alongside Ryan Martin. I'm Andrew Del Piana. Third inning of work for Caden Eschman, the right-hander, facing 9-1-2 of the Bourne lineup. Been solid so far through 2 innings on the job.
Now
Has allowed
batting
just
from
1 hit,
Illinois,
1
number
earned run.
8, Nick Groves.
Has allowed those 2 walks, though, go along with 2 strikeouts, so command been a little bit of an issue, but his defense has really helped him out, Ryan.
Yeah, it certainly has. You've seen a couple of nice plays so far from the defense, a couple of nice mistakes that get fixed as well with heads-up plays, especially you think about how Kyle Morrison ended that first inning by throwing down at home. The defense for Falmouth, that's been one of the bright spots for the Commodores all season in this 3-6 start.
The lefty Nick Groves leads it off, and the first pitch from Eschman is in there for a called strike. Goes back to that breaking ball. He struck out Smitwick in a little bit earlier. 0-1. Fastball way up and out. Groves, the rising senior from Illinois. 2 seasons at Niagara before transferring over. Will turn 22 years old a little bit later this summer. 1-1. The fastball called for a strike. A perfect spot in the bottom right half of the zone.
Groves has just about everything coming out of the back pockets. Batting gloves that are alternative to the batting gloves he's wearing, and then the sliding mitt on his right back pocket.
1-2. Fastball called, strike 3 on the outer half. So Groves will not need that sliding mitt in his back right pocket as he's down on 4 strikes, or excuse me, on 4
Now
pitches for out number 1.
St. John's, number 1, John LeGrand.
I don't know if I've ever seen that. Batting gloves on the hands.
I don't know. That's
box,
becoming the new trend. A lot of accessories on these guys.
That's
They
true.
like to show out. It's a fashion show out there.
Of course.
Top of the lineup for Bourne with 1 gone. And John LeGrand, who scored the 1 run so far for the Bravos. 0-1, lays down a bunt down the third base side. Is it going to trickle foul? Yes, it is. Smart play by Osterhaus to let that one tail out for a foul ball.
I'll add one more comment on the accessory talk. I'm looking at John LeGrand here. I think there are sliding mitts in each of his back pockets, not just a forward-facing right.
Got a hand warmer in front as well, I think. Similar to what quarterbacks have in football.
Legrand, the center fielder, so you could see if he's shading left, shading right. And there you see there. Both sliding mitts.
You don't think that's a little heavy in your back pocket?
I always thought that even one would be heavy.
And if you steal north of 30 bases in a season, you can do whatever you want.
Right.
0-1. Breaking ball dropped in perfectly by Eschman for strike 2. Grant has led off in just about every game so far this season for Bourne. Did go 1 for 5 in the loss last night. 0-2. Check swing, did he go around? Yes, he did, says home plate umpire Ruben Ramirez. And that is strikeout number 4 for Eschman.
Second consecutive of the 2 that Eschman also has striking out looking. Couple nice put-away pitches to the 9-hole hitter in Nick Rose, and then the leadoff man and John LeGrand.
Eschman entered this ball game with the 3rd most strikeouts in the league with 15. Already has 4 so far, 2 gone, bottom 3rd, tied at 1. Here's Gavin Kelly from the right side. First offering, goes after it, and swings right through the changeup.
Caden Eschman has just gotten better as his outing has progressed, my friend, including those strike numbers. 49 pitches, now 31 for strikes.
Definitely after those 2 walks in the first inning has really settled in. The 0-1, does the breaking ball once more, just dips below the knees. Good frame job there from Harrison. Couldn't get the call, though, from Ramirez. The 1-1 is a bouncer right in front of home plate. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Kelly going to be a redshirt sophomore. Originally from Pittsburgh, but goes to West Virginia. How about that for a backyard brawl? Even went to Pittsburgh Central Catholic as well, so even in that mix as well, to go to your rival school from your hometown, pretty rare nowadays. 2-1. Sent right back up the middle. Tough play for Lopez in the hole. Fields throws and got him. 1-2-3 inning in the bottom of the 3rd for Caden Eschman. We are still tied at 1 between the Braves and the Commodores. We are 1/3 through this ball game. We'll be right back after these messages on Cape League TV.
The 99 Restaurant and Pub is proud to be a sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League this summer. Visit your local 99 and try their famous colossal lobster rolls, piled high on grilled brioche and served either hot and buttered or with just the right amount of mayo and celery to go along with the fries and coleslaw. Visit your local 99 restaurant this summer today. You gotta love the Nines.
I'm Devin Sheeran, right-handed pitcher from LSU, and you're listening to Commodores Baseball on Cape League TV.
Top 4 from Doran Park here in Bourne, Massachusetts. Commodores and Braves tied at 1 apiece after 3 innings. Alongside Ryan Martin, I'm Andrew Del Piana. Matt Shorey still out there for the Bravos. He's pitched 3 innings so far, just allowing 3 hits. Meets 7, 8, and 9 in the top of the 4th, starting with the righty Mark Quattrani.
Now batting from Cornell, number 20, Mark Quattrani.
Quattrani was the hit-by-pitch victim his first time up. Has been the lone run for the Commodores. First offering is a breaking ball in there with a slider. Starts in and then breaks out. The 0-1. Quattrani swing and a miss. Wasn't even close on that one. And a fastball in the upper half of the zone. Quickly 0-2. his 5th game played, 3 for 11 so far. 0-2. Fastball off the end of the bat, foul down the third base side.
It's a busy catcher room that the Commodores have under 12-year Major League catcher Jared Saltzlamakia. Quatrani, backstop today in Bear Harrison, and the Virginia Tech catcher in David McCann. All 3 of those backstops for the Commodores. That's a third, and actually 4 of the 9 when you include the 2 that Bear Harrison has, 4 of the 9 homers that the Commodores have this season.
That's been a similar trend for Saltzlamakia a lot this season, using 2 of the 3 in the lineup. The 0-2, fooled on the changeup. Quatrani gone on 4 pitches, and that's out number 1 of the 4th.
Just a second strikeout today for Shorey. He's doing some really easy contact for his fielders. This is a pitcher that you love to field behind if you are this Bravos defense.
Doesn't have a lot of strikeouts, but gives up a lot of contact. First pitch to Carl Schmidt. In there, right down Main Street for strike 1. Talked about his first plate appearance with that fly out to right. The 0-1. It's a breaking ball, a high chopper up the middle. Cooney corrals it across the diamond in time for out number 2. So the bats for both teams slowing down just a little bit after a pretty action-packed first inning.
Now batting from Alabama, number 7.
Here's the 9-hitter, Justin Osterhaus. He's been mixed around in the 3-4 spot. First time we've seen him out of that 9-hole. Did have a single his first time up. First pitch, Osterhaus ropes it into right field, drops in for a base hit. A 2-for-2 effort for Justin Osterhaus. And the Commodores trying to create a little bit of magic here with 2 outs.
For Osterhaus, that's now his 2nd multi-hit game in the last 3 games. Went 2 for 5 against YD on Sunday. And hitting it at both parts of the field as well. The left-hander sent one opposite way to left field. And his last at-bat now sends one to the right center gap.
Here's Antonio Morales from the left side for the 3rd time already. RBI single back in the 2nd to tie this ball game at 1. 2 outs in the top of the 4th. Here's the pitch. The breaking ball, Morales, a high chopper up the middle, flip on to second in time thanks to the fielder's choice. So no threat after the 2-out single by Osterhaus. No runs on 1 hit, no errors with 1 left on base. Time for the bottom of the 4th. Braves 1, Commodores 1. We'll be right back after a short break on Cape League TV.
On behalf of the Cape Cod Baseball League, we would like to thank the following league partners for their continued support: Veolia North America, Wilson Sporting Goods, Yawkey Foundation, Netting Pros, Falmouth Publishing Company, Butler Sporting Goods, Sports Picks, Margaritaville Resort Cape Cod, Sunderland Printing, Del Mar Vacation Rentals, and of course, thank you to Major League Baseball for over 50 years of support.
Baseball, 81 degrees as the sun sets. Just about an hour. Shades coming over home plate just a little bit. Bottom of the 4th, Commodores 1, Braves 1. Back alongside Ryan Martin. I'm Andrew Delapiana. Caden Eschman back out there for his 4th inning of work. That's allowed just 1 hit so far and 1 earned run to go along with 4 strikeouts. First to meet him in this frame is the lefty Cade Lewis. The pitch goes after it, smokes it towards second base. 1 hopper for Morrison, makes the play, and that's pretty easy. 1 pitch, 1 out.
And well done defensively as well by the Southern Miss second baseman Kyle Morrison, not his typical position this summer with the Falmouth Commodores. You've seen him at the third base spot, frequent DH as well. Had a couple of missteps so far playing that second base spot, but knew how to deal with that one hopper.
Here's Braden Holcomb. Walk his first time up. Got thrown out at home after being caught stealing on a potential first and third 2 outs play. His second season with the Braves. First pitch is above the letters for ball 1. Spent 37 games here with the Braves last season. 3 home runs, 25 RBIs. One of 6 Braves players to earn an all-star honor. It's been a little bit slow getting out of the gate so far. 1-0. It's a fastball. Comes back to the screen.
Can't get over the size for Braden Holcomb. 6'5", 240, but he can steal bags with these. Already 5 on the summer. We haven't seen him in action besides that third to home where he got picked off. But would really be a treat to see a man of that size able to get around the base pass.
He was a tight end in high school, and he said that really helped out his athleticism. 1-1. It's a breaking ball upstairs. 2 balls, 1 strike. One gone in the bottom of the 4th. Doors and Bravos tied at 1. 2-1 the count. The pitch. Breaking ball in there for called strike 2. Holcomb nods his head in agreement. Rising junior from Vanderbilt. Probably didn't think he was going to be here as soon this summer, with Vanderbilt being the #1 seed in the NCAA tournament. 2-2, a high arching breaking ball that nearly hits him. Turns out of the way. A #1 seed taken out in its own regional. I believe it was the first time in 15, 20 years the #1 seed lost in the regional round. 3-2. Fastball poked the other way, slicing just foul down the first base side. Missed a home run by, let's say, 15, 20 feet. Does have 11 strikeouts so far this summer. That's 6th on the Cape. Takes a deep breath, looks at that bright blue bat he's got. Taps home plate and digs back in, awaiting the 3-2. Ashman comes set at the belt. Turns and fires. Fastball off the end of the bat. Going to be fielded by Morrison on the second base side. Flip over to first. In time. Holcomb doesn't think so. Braves manager Scott Lander is coming out to challenge that call. It was a bang-bang play where Morrison fielded it with the glove on his left side, flipped it to Schmidt. And now first base umpire Thomas Augusta coming down the third base line to have that word with Landers. And he is letting him hear about it. Landers returns back to the third base dugout.
Now batting
his
from
4th
Texas
season
Tech, number
with the
14,
Braves.
Logan Hughes.
A guy that's been pretty successful here, I'd say. 3 West Division titles, 2 Cape championships. They were a win away last year from three-peating the first team since YD to do that just about a decade or so ago. Either way, it's a 4-3 ground out, 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th. The pitch popped up in the air by Hughes, tailing third base side Osterhaus. Can he get there? No, it's going to get out of play.
And before that YD three-peat run from 2014 to 2016, do you know what the only other team to three-peat would be? But the Falmouth Commodores.
Yeah, I was about to say,
the
70s to the 80s?
68, 69, 1970. Those are the Bill Livesey days.
Wow. The 0-1, just outside. It's been a long time since the Commodores raised a trophy, 45 years to be exact. Would love to snap that, but off to this 3-6 start to start the summer. 1-1. The breaking ball is laced into right field by Hughes. Back on it is Morales, and he makes the grab for another 1-2-3 inning for Eschman, who is rolling after a little bit of a rocky start. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left on base for the Braves. We go to the top of the 5th. We are rolling here at Doran Park as we are tied at 1 apiece. We'll be right back after a break on Cape League TV.
Heading into the top of the 5th inning alongside Ryan Martin and Andrew Della Piana. William Rosen, thrilled to join the broadcast booth for a moment to talk about my conversation earlier with Kevin Urhan, the manager of pro and collegiate baseball for Louisville Slugger. Kevin was here on field before the game to talk with the Commodores and everybody involved with Cape League Baseball about Louisville Slugger, its history, and bats that it provides to the future of baseball in the minor leagues and the major leagues. Talking to me, he told me that the history of Louisville Slugger, it started out as one of 2 companies that made wooden bats, and now it's upwards of 40. Bats are going to be delivered to some players to test as we go forward this season. Guys?
Yeah, thanks so much, Will. Wooden bats has been a staple of the Cape Cod Baseball League. That's what makes this league so unique. They've been using them since 1985, Ryan.
Yeah, they certainly have. And now all these new toys and technology at these players' respective universities, but they look like kids in a candy shop checking out the wooden bats earlier today by the dugout.
Top 5 between the Braves and the Commodores. New pitcher on the mound for Bourne. It's the right-hander, rising junior, formerly from NC State, in Derek Smith. Currently in the transfer portal, facing 2, 3, 4 of the Falmouth lineup, starting with Adrian Lopez. First pitch is up and away for ball 1. Smith, his 3rd appearance out of the bullpen this season, has allowed 3 earned runs, 6 walks to 6 strikeouts. Just made 6 appearances this season with the Wolfpack. 1-0. Fastball right at the letters, or just above, says home plate umpire, and Ruben Ramirez. 2 balls, no strikes. Dealt with an undisclosed injury early in the season. He was a huge bullpen guy for the Wolfpack last year. 41 strikeouts in 29 innings. Smith's 2-0. Elects to go to the fastball. It's up and away once more. 3 balls and no strikes to Lopez. 1 for 2 in the ball game with a single and a line out. Smith from the windup. Kicks and deals. His take all the way from Lopez. Called strike right down Main Street. Good to see Lopez picking up his first hit of the season after exiting the game just about a week ago. The 3-1, taken below the knees for ball 4. Made his 3rd game of the season last night, and the 0-4 loss after getting hit in the head with a pitch back on June 15th, the day after opening day against Brewster.
From Marshall, number 3.
He's got the leadoff walk. As here's Mike Anu from the right side. He's 0 for 2 with a line out and a pop out. First pitch from Smith is a fastball taken on the outer half for a called strike. For Smith, he stands on the bump, 6'2", 220 pounds. From White Bear Lake, Minnesota. 0-1. Runner thought about taking off a bouncer in the dirt. Now Lopez decides to go for second. No throw from the catcher, Smith whip. It was kind of a half and half decision there from Lopez. Initially went, pulled it back, saw the ball got away, then takes off for second.
Really good adjustment by Lopez to make the decision to go to second, because I think if that ball doesn't get away from the catcher and Smithwick, Andrew, it'd be Smithwick who just throw over the first baseman and Craig, and all of a sudden it'd be Lopez in a pickle.
Either way, he's probably taking a big sigh of relief over there at second base. See if they call that a wild pitch or a stolen base. 1-1. Swing and a miss by New. Breaking ball in the dirt. He was fooled on it. Lopez the runner at second. Nobody gone in the top of the fifth. Commodores 1, Braves 1. We've been tied at that point since the top of the second. They can call that a wild pitch on Smith. Smith comes set at the belt from the first base side of the bump. Is 1-2. Breaking ball off the end of the bat, foul. New just got enough to keep alive, to stay alive in the at-bat.
Smith goes back to the well and uses another curveball. Pitch before it really fooled New as it dropped about a foot in front of the plate. New still swung. This time New gets it off the end of the bat to keep the at-bat alive.
Smith likes his sign from his battery mate, the 3-1. Fastball, New pops it up. Foul over our heads just behind home plate and into the seats. There's those bleachers here at Bourne Park. They got removed a couple of years ago due to renovations. There's a couple of layers of brick wall where fans are standing on. Looks very clean. Another 1-2. Breaking ball just above the letters. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Both teams going with their practice uniforms for today. It was so hot outside, I'm assuming you couldn't wear the thicker jerseys today, Ryan?
It was the case for Bourne in last night's 2-1 win at Orleans. Bravos electing to go with their navy batting practice shirts in that win.
It worked out for them in that victory last night, so why not ride with it with the home red instead? Braves usually rock a nice, clean white uniform with script Bourne across the front, similar to the logo the Braves have of Atlanta. 2-2. Another breaking ball. New has to bend out of the way. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Commodores, this still would be their black uniforms. Just a red Falmouth across the front. He walked in the ballpark. Almost kind of feels like a scrimmage-esque, if you will. 3-2 breaking ball. New back on it and spoils it first base side and out.
This was a Bourne team that was supposed to actually scrimmage at Falmouth on the Thursday before opening day. So you could have definitely seen this jersey and uniform combination against each other.
We just didn't think we'd see it 2 weeks later here in Bourne. 3-2. New skies it foul once more, and they'll do it again. And a lot of souvenirs for these fans. Pitch number 9 of the at-bat coming up. Lopez the runner on second. Still nobody gone in the top of the 5th. Commodores 1, Braves 1. Smith from the first base side. Another 3-2. New punches the ball towards right center, and that's going to get in the gap. Going to roll all the way to the wall. Be extra bases for New. Easy. Lopez in from second. New up to third, sliding in safely with an RBI triple. Commodores take the lead thanks to another extra base hit from Micah New.
Yeah, Micah New with nothing new for this Commodores team. He's been the spark plug all season long when the Commodores have gotten it in this 3-6 start. Now it's Falmouth taking its first lead of this game in the RBI triple for Micah New. Second triple on the season for Falmouth.
That other one belongs to Antonio Morales. New becoming now the 9th player on Cape Cod to have a triple this season. That being the 4th extra base hit for the former Marshall Thundering Herd member. Here's the righty Bear Harrison, first pitch, breaking ball in there for a strike. Runner at third, nobody out. Falmouth just took its first lead of the ball game, 2-1. As a bullet by Mike Anu into right center. No one to Harrison. As another breaking ball tails just outside.
And on that hit, New was thinking 3 bases the whole way. It was no shot that LeGrand, the center fielder, or Cruz, the right fielder, was going to be having a shot to get it.
About 395 to dead center, so that ball rolled about 385 if you say. 1-1 way up and in. Harrison, we get a little deja vu of that last at-bat where he got hit. 2 balls and 1 strike. Harrison also has been an RBI machine, tied for 6th in the league in that category with 6. Looking for number 7. 2-1. It's a fastball. He takes it right down the heart of the plate. You know he just missed that one. Harrison drove in 34 runs this past season for Texas A&M. 2-2. Breaking ball out in front and deflects off of Smith. The pitcher knew is going to score. It'd be a tough play at first, and Harrison is there at first safely. An infield single for Bear Harrison scores Mike Anu, and the Commodores take a 3-1 lead in the 5th.
Usually those two, and New and Harrison, who create that spark with the home run. Out of the 9 homers on the season, 5 have been with Mike Anu for Bear Harrison. But how about a couple RBI hits that stay in the park? New has the RBI triple, and then Bear Harrison brings home New a batter later to make it a 3-1 Doors lead.
Smith appears to be okay on the bump. Wasn't a rocket that got by him, but still, you want to make sure those pitchers are all right when they do take some contact. Still nobody on the top of the 5th. Here's the lefty Kyle Morrison. Doors have jumped in front by 2. Pitch from Derek Smith is a fastball outside. Commodores taking full advantage of runners in scoring position. We've been talking about it a whole lot. 3 for 5 so far tonight. Entered in 10 for 82. Only team worse than that in the league is Katuitt, who sits just a game below in the West Division. 1-0. Fastball up and away once more. 2 balls, no strikes. Morrison a strikeout victim his last time up. 1 of 2 in the ball game for the starter in Matthew Shorzy. Another fastball pumped outside though. Smith really losing command. That was kind of the same case his last time around against Brewster. Went 2 2/3, did have 4 walks, 2 earned runs. And also blew a save on game 2 of the season. The 3-0. Morrison takes it. Either way, it's ball 4 inside.
Second walk issued by Derek Smith. It's Scott Landers will come out of the dugout where it looks like it's going to be a left-hander. Luis Marinaro was warming up. The St. John's Rising senior should be next in for the Bravos.
Landers a slow strut to the mound. See if he does take the baseball away from him.
He has come out just to have traditional mound visit conversations and settle down his pitcher. In the first inning, it was Shorzy he did it with, and looks like it could be more of the same here. So hold your horses on the Red Storm left-hander in Marinaro.
Smith going to stay in the game. Top 5. Commodores lead 3-1. Runners at first and second. Still nobody out. 2 runs already coming across for Falmouth in this frame. Here's the lefty Kent Schmidt against the righty Smith. 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts. Schmidt really still trying to find his footing this season. He's 4 for 27 now. After he was the ACC leader, batting nearly 400. Pitch. It's below the knees for ball 1. back on the first base side of the bump. Is 1-0. Pumps in a strike right at the letters. Called one, that is. 1 ball, 1 strike. Harrison, the runner at second. Morrison at first. 1-1. There's a breaking ball. Schmidt takes it just inside. Smith comes set of the belt. His 2-1 is a fastball. Schmidt ropes down the first base side, and it is fair into right field. Gonna get all the way to the wall. Could be extra bases for Schmidt. 1 run comes in to score. Here comes a second. Morrison right behind. Throw gonna be cut off. A 2-run double for Kent Schmidt. Comes up big once again with ducks on the pond, and the Doors have a 4 spot in the 5th. It's 5-1 Falmouth.
It's going to happen. We have not seen out of the Commodores, Andrew, in multiple games. And it starts because of the extra base hits. The triple from Mike Anu, now the 2 RBI double for Ken Schmidt. Remember, this is a Commodores team that in that 5-2 loss yesterday at Hyannis, 8 hits, all singles, Andrew. You can't really spark that momentum without the extra base hits. Now the Commodores have 2 in this half inning alone.
They've done a good job of getting to Derek Smith and making him pay for some fastballs left over the heart of the plate.
May I remind you, my friends, still with nobody out here in the top of the 5th inning.
Looking to even add to that lead. First pitch to Mark Quattrani is a called strike on the breaking ball. So far for Smith, 3 hits allowed, 4 earned runs, 2 free passes. And as you said, still nobody out yet. 0-1. Breaking ball in there for a strike. All started with that leadoff walk from Lopez, the RBI triple by New, the RBI single by Harrison, and then Schmidt driving in both of them thanks to the 2-run double. 0-2, breaking ball tails outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So far for Falmouth, already up to 7 hits in this one. Season where, I should say the first couple of games, offense has been hard to come by, really finding their spark early on in this ball game. 1-2, another breaking ball. Quattrani down the line, foul third base side, just barely.
Mentioned for Falmouth, 5 runs on 7 hits. 4 runs in this half inning alone for a Commodores team that over those last 3 games, Andrew, during this 3-game losing streak, has combined to score just 6 runs.
Into a Bourne pitching staff that has just allowed 7 runs in the last 3 games on this 3-game winning streak. They have really gotten to Smith. 1-2. Quattrani spoils it back. Quattrani was the first Commodore to come in and score back in the 2nd after the RBI single by Morales. 1-2, breaking ball outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. This has been a long inning for Derek Smith. Maybe Scott Landers thinking about in that dugout, potentially pulling him before Schmidt. Here's the 2-2. Is a fastball upstairs. Can't find the zone once more. It's already been 34 pitches in this inning for Smith. And only 17 of them have found the strike zone. Here's the 3-2. Quattrani, a couple of chops third base side, corralled by Holcomb. Across the diamond in time, and there is out number 1 of this frame. No advancement from second from Schmidt after the ground ball to the left side.
It only took the 6th Commodore batter of this half inning, Andrew, but finally out number 1 is recorded by Derek Smith, as you say. Still Kent Schmidt in scoring position off of second for Carl Schmidt, no relation.
Georgia, the other one from California. Maybe they are related, they just don't know it yet. First pitch to Carl is up and inside.
Two first names that you don't see out of guys in their early 20s either, between Carl and Kent. Who knows? Could be
Make a
related.
great superhero duo, I'll tell you that.
You're thinking of Clark Kent, huh?
Yes, 1-0. The breaking ball, tails inside, 2 balls, no strikes. Just shorten that up to Carl Kent.
Yeah, it's close enough, right?
Close enough, yeah. Superman's just a man sometimes. 2-0. Above the letters, 3 balls, no strikes.
Solid pitch location for Smith. Top of the zone. Thought Schmidt was going to chase at that. If you're Smith, that's what you want to try to get Carl to go upstairs.
So it's Schmidt for Smith with Smith-Wick behind home plate. 3-0. It's ball 4. Third free pass of the inning by Derek Smith. And is now Scott Landers going to make the move? Looks like it as he exits that top step on the third base dugout. We're going to have a pitching change here from Bourne. What a frame it's been for the Commodores. 4 across in the 5th and potentially adding even more. We'll tell you about the new Bourne pitcher on the other side. Commodores 5, Braves 1 here in the top of the 5th, and even threatening for more. We'll be right back. Commodores in front of the Braves 5-1. New pitcher on the mound for Bourne. It's the left-hander, the rising senior from St. John's, number 17, Luis Marinaro. 6'1", 195 pounds, wrapping up his junior season at St. John's. This being his 3rd appearance so far on the Cape, has allowed 2 earned runs, 6 walks though to 4 strikeouts, and that was kind of the big bugaboo for Derek Smith, as it was not a fun outing for him, Ryan.
Yeah, line not closed for Smith just yet, as he's responsible for Schmidt off of second base and Carl Schmidt at first base. But look at the numbers so far for Schmidt. Only gets 1 out and gives up those 3 walks and at least 4 earned runs.
Runners at first and second with just 1 gone. Lefty on lefty. First to meet him is Justin Osterhaus, who is 2 for 2 in this ball game after entering with 6 hits through 7 games. First pitch from the lefty is a fastball, and Osterhaus swings right through it. Foul tips it into the mitt for strike 1. Marinaro teaming up with his center fielder and John LeGrand, also part of the St. John's Red Storm. 0-1. It's a breaking ball fouled off of the right foot of Osterhaus at home plate. Great season on the court for the Red Storm, not so much on the diamond.
Good to see some Big East baseball represented on the Bourne Braves, though.
in for Marinero against Osterhaus. Check at second. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. The hard snap of the glove there as that fastball comes in at 99 miles per hour. Excuse me, 91 miles per hour. That would have been unbelievable.
You mentioned a tough bat to get out. Osterhaus had started 2 for 2 in this game. Second multi-hit in the last 3 days.
Fourth time up for Antonio Morales, and it is only the top of the fifth. Runners at first and second. 2 outs. Bourne trailing 5-1. Here on their home field. First pitch is a breaking ball. Drops in nicely for a strike. Morales an RBI single back in the second that scored the first run for Falmouth. Added the fourth with the fielder's choice. 0-1. Another breaking ball rolled over right side. Kelly vacuums it up. Fires over to first. An outstretched effort by Morales, but not in time. And the inning is over. A fun one, though, for the Commodores. 4 runs. Thanks to 3 hits. No errors. 2 left on base. Falmouth 5. Bourne 1. Brian Martin will have you for the rest of this contest as we head to the bottom of the 5th here on Cape League TV.
Authentic Cape Cod dining is right down the road at Jim's Clam Shack. Open seasonally for over 50 years, Jim's Clam Shack features oceanfront views with all of the lobster, shrimp, burgers, and clams you could ask for. Stop by Jim's Clam Shack, located at 227 Quinton Avenue right here in Falmouth, to hit your next meal out of the park. That's Jim's Clam Shack at 227 Quinton Avenue, Falmouth.
Bottom of the 5th here at Dorn Park and the campus of Upper Cape Cod Regional Technical High School, where the sun beginning to set, but the Commodores bats just about to get hot. After a 4-run top of the 5th, Falmouth up 5-1 while visiting the Bourne Braves. And Bourne looks to crack into this lead after seeing it go astray for the first time tonight. Ryan Martin alongside Andrew Delapiana here on the Commodores Radio Network and Cape League TV, where there's a new lefty arm into the game for Falmouth. After a good outing from Caden Eschman, we now see what the Arizona State Sun Devil, Easton Barrett, has.
Yeah, it's someone who really set the tone in his first appearance of the summer. Just got 5 or 6 days ago in the victory against Orleans back on Friday. Got the win in that one. 4 innings pitched, just 2 hits allowed. The 1 run, it was not earned, but 6 strikeouts, really setting the tone. And the way he utilized his slider was very impressive to me, where that was his go-to strikeout pitch. And to get 6 Firebirds to fan in that one was a good sign of hopefully things to come.
The rising sophomore at Arizona State and Springville, Utah native will have 6, 7, and 8 to contest with on this Bourne lineup that ranked 3rd on Cape Cod with a .251 average coming into it. Starts off with the Oregon State first baseman and Jacob Craig. The righty digs in against the southpaw Barrett. 5-1 Commodores. After a 4-run top of the 5th, Barrett looks and delivers the first pitch. It's a called strike on Craig. First baseman who flew out to center field to lead off the second inning. Was the first of 9 straight retired batters for Eschman. Now takes another called strike. No balls and 2 strikes now to the Beaver first baseman.
I don't think we should overlook that, too, by Eschman. Pretty phenomenal day. Just allows the 1 hit and 4 innings of work, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, really settling in after that first inning.
Barrett's ahead now. 0-2 pitch. outside on the righty swinging Craig. 1 ball, 2 strikes to begin the bottom of the 5th inning. Third start on the summer for Eschman. He's been phenomenal. We'll see how many more starts he has before maybe preparing for next month's draft. 1-2. Ball that goes low and inside on Craig. As is the case with a lot of members of this Bravos lineup, Craig brings the size into the box. 6'5", 240-pound right-hander from Antioch, California. 2-2. Cracked on the ground, foul by Craig towards the Bourne dugout down the third base line. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Craig, one of 4 Bravos to make his Bourne debut in last night's 2-1 win at Orleans. He went 0 for 4 with a strikeout then. Trying to avoid his second strikeout on the summer. Barrett looks down the 2-2. Check swing, appeal down the first base umpire in Augusta, and they say he did. 1 batter faced, 1 strikeout for the lefty Easton Barrett. There's 1 gone on the bottom of the 5th.
Likes to go with that inside fastball, and he must have done his homework on Jacob Craig because, again, strikeouts have been a huge problem for him over these last 2 years. So what do you do with a powerful guy that if they don't get their hands around fast enough to turn it, you have to jam him, and that's exactly what Barrett did.
It's part of a 4-pitch mix at Barrett's disposal. Fastball, slider, curveball, and change. We'll see what he goes with on the first pitch. High and upstairs for a ball on the Oregon shortstop in Ryan Cooney. Check out 1 batter ahead. It's the Oklahoma State catcher Campbell Smithwick who has to duck under it. Smithwick, the left-hander, sees the 1-0. Big swing and a miss from Smithwick. Newest Oklahoma State catcher. Committed to the Cowboys just this morning. Making his transfer over from Ole Miss. Barrett stares down to the fading Cape Cod sun and delivers the 1-1. Check swing in which it's Smithwick who doesn't go around on a pitch that's inside for a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike. With 1 gone in the bottom of the 5th, now a 5-1 Commodores lead after Falmouth plays 4 in the top of the 5th. Barrett stares down the 2-1. Smithwick watches a called strike on the outer third of the zone. Count goes full at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Barrett had that 4-inning win versus Orleans that you mentioned. Also 17 appearances, 10 of them starts for the Sun Devils this past season. A 4.3 ERA, the 2-2. Called strike 3 on the catcher, Smithwick. Now 2 batters faced, both struck out by Easton Barrett. A good start to his 2nd outing on the summer. 2 gone in the bottom of the 5th.
And that's about as good as a command on a curveball that you will see. Perfectly placed on the outer third of the zone.
Slows down to 80 miles an hour on the lefty swing, Smithwick. Now back up is the righty in Ryan Cooney. Oregon shortstop. Slow bat for the first pitch. It's a ball taken just slow from Barrett. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 gone in the bottom of the 5th.
He's not someone that powers the ball by you. Fastball into the low 90s, but his command is what's impressive.
Cooney looks at the 1-0. Chopped that over to the shortstop. It's Lopez who fires over to Schmidt. An easy, simple 6-3 putout. And just as Caden Eschman did for 3 consecutive innings, it's Easton Barrett who now sets him down in order for this Bourne lineup that still faces a 5-1 deficit. Falmouth looks to build on it when we talk to you next in the top of the 6th here from Durham Park on Cape League TV.
Whether you own a car, home, business, or investment property, it's critical you keep it secure and protected. Since 1989, our friends at Northeast Insurance Solutions have been the trusted insurance agency to serve the Commonwealth. Visit them on the web at insurewithnortheast.com or at their offices, 100 Ledgewood Place in Rockland.
Carl Schmidt, utility player from the University of California, and you're listening to Commodores Baseball on Cape League TV.
Pretty solid fifth inning we just saw from the Commodores, who played 4 runs in the top of the fifth and then set down the Bourne Braves lineup in order. A big reason why the scoreboard still reads 5-1 here in Dorn Park. Bourne, and it's going to be Adrian Lopez, who looks to build on what was a 4-run, 3-hit fifth inning, and now into the top of the sixth with the USC shortstop.
Kind of feels like everything clicking on all cylinders right now. Caden Eschman delivers a great start. Easton Barrett comes in, delivers the 1-2-3. And of course, Falmouth really getting to Derek Smith that last inning to break open things a little bit, but you'd love to have a little bit more insurance.
So here's the righty, Adrian Lopez, still facing left-hander. Molinaro, first pitch to Lopez. It's a ball taken inside. Lopez leads off for the second consecutive inning, after having that put out as well to set the Braves down in order. 1 ball, no strikes from Bryce Molinaro. Ball is low into the dirt again. 2 balls, no strikes on Adrian Lopez. So far in the day, 1 for 2 officially. A single at his first hit of the summer in the first inning. Then flew out to left to end the second before, again, leading off the last inning in the fifth. He was walked and scored. The first of 4 runs then. The 2-0. Ball just outside against Lopez. Again, the control been an issue for Bravo's pitchers all day. It's a 3-ball, no-strike count to the USC shortstop in Lopez. Lopez looks down now, the 3-0. Ball upstairs, a 4-pitch walk for Lopez. Second time the shortstop's been walked in as many innings. It's the leadoff man aboard again in Lopez.
And that command has just not been there for the Bourne pitching staff. Already the 6th free pass allowed.
Second by the St. John's left-hander and Luis Marinero into his second inning of work. Now sees the righty Mike Anu, one of the newest additions to the transfer portal. Will be finding his 3rd school in the last 4 years after time at New Orleans and Marshall. Lopez off first. First pitch for Marinaro. He's fouled back into the home plate netting by Mike Anu. No balls, 1 strike. Still no one gone in the top of the 6th inning, where the Commodores lead 5-1 thanks to a big 4-run top of the 5th inning. All non-Commodores came up to bat. Falmouth did not bat around because Lopez started off that inning. Get around after the ground out to Morales. Here's Marinero on the 0-1. Big swing and a miss to top the zone on the fastball from Mike Anu. No balls and 2 strikes. Anu had the 2nd triple on the summer an inning ago for the Commodores. He had the RBI triple and scored Lopez. 0-2. Called strike 3. Mike Anu sat down on strikes for the first time today. It'll be the first strikeout for Marinaro. 1 out now in the top of the 6th.
Now batting from Texas.
That's one of those pitches you just really have to tip your cap to the guy on the bump. Perfectly placed in the top right corner. Couldn't get any more on the black than that.
Bear Harrison digs into the right-handed batter's box now. Adrian Lopez still off of first base with 1 out in the bottom of the top of the 6th. First pitch to Harrison's low. 1 ball, no strikes to the Texas A&M catcher. He's looking for his 2nd hit in as many innings. And that top of the 5th inning was the best offensive production we've seen in a concentrated span for the Commodores probably since that 14-5 win over Orleans a week ago. 1 ball, no strikes to Harrison. The pitch from Marinero. Lopez off and running. Ball is upstairs and gets out of the glove of Campbell Smithwick, so Adrian Lopez easily steals 2nd. Takes the turn around that bag in scoring position, but we'll just head back there. No throw down to the 2nd baseman and Gavin Kelly.
I don't know if that check swing, if you want to call it, pump fake by Bear Harrison fooled the catcher at all. He did a little hesitation where it looked like he was going to swing and maybe caught Smithwick's timing off just a little bit.
Whatever's needed for Adrian Lopez to get into scoring position. The rising junior and Bear Harrison Brady sees now the 2-0. Harrison skies it into right field. Going back on it is Nick Groves, shading towards his left. Put the glove up, make the catch, and it's going to be Lopez who has to retreat back to second. No thought of tagging up and getting over to third base. It was a simple fly out to right for Harrison. Now 2 outs in the top of the 6th inning for Kyle Morrison.
It's been a couple of long fly ball outs for Falmouth today. Corner outfielders in Hughes and Groves have really had to make their money worth with some serious athleticism to the respective left and right side.
Surprised maybe a little bit that Adrian Lopez didn't think about tagging up from second base there, even though
maybe a little bit.
It was a real shot into right field, 91 miles an hour off the bat of Harrison. Brings up the lefty and Kyle Morrison, second baseman today for the Commodores, with Lopez off of second base in this 5-1 Doors lead. Marinero looks down Lopez before turning the head and delivering the first pitch. Strike on the inside corner, fastball that Morrison doesn't offer out. No ball is 1 strike, 2 outs in the top of the 6th inning.
No one holding Lopez on, so could take a couple steps a little bit further towards third if he wants.
That stolen base was the first of the summer for Adrian Lopez. It's a look down, now the 0-1. Ball low and inside on Kyle Morrison. 1 ball, 1 strike. For Morrison, making the transfer over from Southern Alabama to Southern Mississippi. Played for a really good Eagles team. So far 0 for 2 today with a strikeout. Another look at second for Marinero, but delivers the 1-1. It's ball inside again on Morrison. That fastball can't catch the inner third. 2 balls, 1 strike. Morrison going to his 3rd school in as many years. Originally spent his first year at Shelton State Community College in Tuscaloosa. The 2-1. Strike on the inner third. That one will clip on the breaking ball for Marinero. Morrison's been all over the lineup, and today still looking for his first hit. What would be his 5th of the summer. 4 for 22 so far through 8 games played. Lopez off of second in this 4-run Commodores lead. Marinero delivers the 2-2. Called strike 3 again for Marinero, and this one will end the top of the 6th inning. Commodores strand 1 more, but those 2 strikeouts end up being big for the lefty and Marinero. It's still a 5-1 Commodores lead as the Doors plate no runs on no hits, no errors, but that 1 left on base is Lopez with the leadoff walk. 5-1 Falmouth entering the bottom of the 6th here on Cape League TV. Welcome to the bottom of the 6th inning from Doran Park in Bourne, Massachusetts. The Falmouth Commodores up 5-1 over the Bravos thanks to a 4-run top of the 5th inning. Commodores bats can't add any insurance in the top of the 6th. Now it's Bourne who looks to cut into that deficit, in which the Bravos and 4th-year manager Scott Landers will send up 9-1-2. Starts off with Nick Groves, who looks to be the first Braves hitter to reach in the last 12 batters. Caden Eschman and Easton Barrett dealing. Here's Barrett, the lefty, in the first pitch. Strike on the inside inner third of the plate on the fastball from Barrett. No ball is 1 strike, as it was Nick Groves who showed bunt, pulled it back, still a called strike. Final line, right fielder, 0 for 1 so far today. A Bravos lineup that's been mowed down. 0-1. Ball inside on Groves. 1 ball, 1 strike to begin the bottom of the 6th inning. Easton Barrett stares down and fires the 1-1. It's a ball that goes just away from the catcher and Bear Harrison. No one on base, so no harm, no foul. 2 balls, 1 strike. Groves spent his first year in Champaign after transferring over from Niagara. Originally from Bayfield, Ontario, up in Canada. Now sees the 2-1. Groves fouls it back across the third base line. Count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Cool to see Niagara get some love.
It's a big jump going from Niagara into the Big Ten.
He's got something that no other Purple Eagle could ever see. He was the first ever Niagara player to reach base in an NCAA tournament game.
It's true. Former second-team All-MAC selection in 2024. Barrett delivers a 2-2. Groves watches it for a ball. Under third. And the Illini right fielder does an offer at it. Count runs full. The first batter that Easton Barrett faces in the bottom of the 6th inning. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Barrett. The pitch. Cracked, fouled, and spoiled out by Groves. Barrett just finishing up his freshman year in Tempe with Arizona State. Got a 4.31 ERA, 4-2 record across about 40 innings pitched. Now sees the full count. Again, fouled back. This one goes into the catcher, Harrison, who's all right. Just shakes it off with a shake of his head. And it's now another 3-2 upcoming.
And this is what Bourne has been missing for a lot of these games, where they're just wearing pitchers down, long at-bats, and really just trying to scrape some offense together. It's been quick, easy at-bats for these Falmouth arms.
Here's pitch number 8 coming up, 3-2. It's a check swing that goes over to the shortstop and Lopez. Fires back over to Schmidt across the diamond. Simple 6-3 putout on the check swing that finds its way into the field of play for Nick Groves. It represents the first out in the bottom of the 6th.
That was just one of those swings where he was doing everything to just get a piece of the ball and stay alive, but I think it kind of shocked him a little bit that ball was even kind of put in play, and solid off the bat, 75 miles per hour.
Back-to-back putouts for Adrian Lopez at shortstop. Position that the USC Trojan hasn't played in over a week after getting hit in the Commodores' home opener and getting some time off. First pitch now to John LeGrand is fouled back over the third base dugout. No balls and 1 strike. Groves the first out in the bottom of the 6th inning, where the Commodores lead 6-1, 5-1, should say. A little ahead after that big top of the 5th inning. Barrett looks down, the 0-1. Ball low and outside on John LeGrand. Center fielder so far today, 0 for 1, was the 4th and final strikeout victim for Caden Eschman. What was a great start. 4 innings pitched, just allowed 1 hit and 1 earned run. Mentioned those 4 strikeouts with a pair of walks. There's Easton Barrett on the 1-1. Again, low and away for a ball. Same location, same result for the Arizona State left-hander on this lefty-on-lefty matchup.
That was a 1-1 count with 1 out between 1 against 1.
Now it goes to a 2-1. The pitch. Ball outside as Barrett struggles to find the zone again. Hitters count to the St. John's John LeGrand.
Well, they are the Red Storm. That's just the nicknames to Johnny's. I like the connection.
It works there, though.
Connect the dots.
Okay. Now ahead on the 3-1. The pitch. Low and outside again. It's a 5-pitch walk to John LeGrand. His second base on balls today. Represents the first base runner in the 6th inning for Bourne. With 1 out in the bottom of the 6th.
Also, Bronx guy as well.
West Virginia, number 7, Gavin Kelly.
Wasn't always a member of the Red Storm, as he now takes first base. Again, transferring over from Wabash Valley College. Smaller size center fielder at 5'8", 175. Makes way for Gavin Kelly, West Virginia's second baseman. Check swings at the first pitch he sees. A look down at first, and it's Thomas Agosto who says he does not go around. 1 ball, no strikes to the Mountaineers' second baseman. 1 out in the bottom of the 6th inning, and what is a 5-1 Commodores lead. Falmouth's biggest lead in about a week. 1-0. Low and inside again on Kelly. 2 balls, no strikes. mentioned earlier, Kelly making that big jump. The rising sophomore at West Virginia, who's originally from Pittsburgh, playing in just his 3rd game on Cape Cod this summer. He's got LeGrand at first base. Barrett stares him down before delivering the 2-0. It's a ball low and inside again on Kelly.
Also that rivalry, the backyard brawl, one of the more underrated ones, I'd say, in college football.
Panthers and the Mountaineers.
Only separated by 50 miles from Pittsburgh and Morgantown. Just a different conference thing.
The 3-0. Strike at top of the zone for Barrett. Red light was on the whole way for Gavin Kelly. Now it's second straight batter in which Easton Barrett finds himself in a 3-ball, 1-strike count. Look and throw over to LeGrand at first base. Ken Schmidt will just play catch with his pitcher. No tag applied to the St. John's center fielder. It's still a 3-1 count. LeGrand does have some speed over at first base. 4 stolen bases on the year. Another throw over from Barrett. Lefty will just toss it again with Schmidt. For Bourne, it's still just 1 run on 1 hit. Commodores have 5 runs on 7 hits. Pair for extra bases after all 8 hits for the Commodores in last night's loss were singles. Easton Barrett delivers a 3-1. Fouled back towards the home plate netting by Gavin Kelly. Count runs full again, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Payoff pitch from Barrett. Chopped that foul down the first base line. Will get just past the Commodores dugout. John LeGrand heads back to first base, where he was the first Bourne Braves player in a streak of 13 home batters to reach base after it was 3 consecutive shutout innings by Caden Eschman. Facing the minimum across those 3 innings. Then in his first inning of work, Easton Barrett did the same. Here's the payoff. Runner goes. Doesn't matter as it's low and away for ball 4 on Gavin Kelly. John LeGrand will slow up into second base, and Kelly will take a spot at first base on the 2nd consecutive walk issued by Easton Barrett. That'll cause a quick conversation with first-year pitching coach Todd Carroll. Shouldn't expect Barrett to come out of this game if Carroll is the one leading the dugout.
It's just one of those things where you just tell him to settle down a little bit. You do have this 4-run cushion in your back pocket, so don't be allowing guys to reach base that you probably shouldn't be allowing in general with, back-to-back walks.
No real action in the Commodores bullpen way down the right field line. That's where both bullpens are positioned here at Dorn Park in Bourne.
And Adrian Lopez telling him the same thing, to just settle down a little bit. Got that insurance with you.
So far, an inning in the 3rd pitched for the Arizona State Sun Devil. And left-handed pitcher Easton Barrett.
Now batting from Wake Forest, number 20.
Hasn't allowed a hit or a run. We mentioned now those back-to-back walks. Also has 2 strikeouts to his name. Here he'll face the lefty designated hitter in Cade Lewis. Lewis looking for his first hit of the day. Only 1 hit on the resume today for Bourne. First pitch from Barrett. Just strike, middle. Lewis doesn't take the bat off the shoulders. No balls, 1 strike for this 4-run Commodores lead. Fly out to short and a ground out to second for Lewis. So he's 0-2 in the 0-1. They spiked into the dirt. Good stop from Harrison to see the count even at 1 ball and 1 strike. We'll also keep LeGrand at second and Kelly at first base. Just the 2nd time today in which 2 Bourne base runners are on at the same time. First time was way back in the 1st inning. Now in top 6, here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss by Lewis.
Should also note, Ryan, that Devin Sheeran, the righty, warming up in the Falmouth bullpen right now. Had a nice conversation with him. What was it? Was that yesterday? A couple days ago?
Had to be a couple days ago.
Yeah, there's no way that was yesterday.
Time doesn't really exist on Cape Cod, but
it absolutely doesn't.
It's been a while. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Easton Barrett. Lewis doesn't offer at a pitch that's low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes now on the Wake Forest designated hitter and rising junior. Lewis, one of a pair of Bourne Braves to play in all 10 games this season. So far, he's 10 for 31. Now sees the 2-2. Runner goes in LeGrand. It's going to be a strike and throw down to third base. LeGrand will steal the bag that time on the hit and run. That doesn't work out for Cade Lewis. Goes as a strikeout First of the day for the designated hitter, but now runners on the corners for Braden Holcomb with 2 gone in the bottom of the 6th.
And that's now you're fine trading the stolen base with. Kelly didn't even get off a first either way. Not sure if he knew that LeGrand was stealing third.
Third strikeout in the second appearance on the summer for the rising sophomore Easton Barrett. So LeGrand tried to steal second base on the at-bat from Kelly, but then the walk from Kelly means that they're both in the corners now for Holcomb. First pitch to the righty. Swing over to the right side of the infield, in which Kyle Morrison comes up with it. The second baseman easily throws over to the first baseman and Schmidt. So some action on the base paths, but not a second run can come across for the Bravos to cut into this 5-1 Falmouth lead. For Bourne, it's no runs on no hits, no errors, but 2 left on base via the pair of walks from Easton Barrett. A 5-1 Falmouth lead entering the top of the 7th here on Cape League TV. Inning where it's still a 5-1 Falmouth lead here at Doran Park in Bourne, Massachusetts. The Bravos have been blanked for the last 5 innings. Braves scored 1 run to take the lead in the bottom of the first. Nothing offensively since. The Commodores have taken a 5-1 lead. Here on Cape League TV, Ryan Martin alongside Andrew Della Piana. Bravos, Andrew, trying to keep this a 4-run Commodores lead, and they'll do so by welcoming in a new pitcher. It's the right-hander Jonathan Stevens.
Yeah, he's in the transfer portal right now. 2 seasons at Alabama. I say at, not with, because he didn't play a single second there with the Crimson Tide. Just celebrated his 21st birthday yesterday. 2 appearances so far on Cape Cod.
I was going to say happy belated to Stevens, a rising junior who'll be looking for his new home. 6'1", 215-pound right-hander out of Birmingham, Alabama. So stayed home, but exactly right. Didn't face a single batter with the Crimson Tide. Now we'll face a yellow jacket, though. Georgia Tech first baseman Kent Schmidt after Schmidt's 2 RBI double in the 5th inning. Stevens looks down, delivers the first pitch in the 7th to Schmidt. It's a ball upstairs on Schmidt. 1 ball, no strikes, and what is a 5-1 Commodores lead now into the top of the 7th. Lefty on righty matchup. Schmidt stares down. The 1-0. Schmidt fouls it right off of home plate. Trickled down past the Commodores' dugout on the first base line. 1 ball, 1 strike now. To Schmidt, who's looking to figure it out now. He had the bases loaded 2 RBI single yesterday. Counted for both of those runs in that 5-2 loss to Hyannis. Now he came through in that last at-bat with the 2 RBI double. 1-1 from Schmidt. Schmidt, I should say, is taken for a strike by the first baseman.
And I think Ben Haller nailed it last night against Hyannis, where it was the bases loaded for Schmidt, gets that 2-run single, and it was just kind of a massive sigh of relief for him to finally get off the schneid, if you will, the bases loaded, and then coming through once again earlier.
Very interesting situation for Schmidt, who cracks out the 1-2 pitch. Fastball will be popped up into left field. The left fielder Logan Hughes comes onto it, puts the glove up with his right hand, and pulls down the first out in the top of the 7th. Schmidt on that previous at-bat before flying out. It was his first extra base hit of the season as well on the double. ACC's leader with a .397 average in the spring. Now be 1 for 4 so far in the day, and 1 for 2 so far in this game has been Mark Quattrani, the righty designated hitter. So it's the pitcher, Jonathan Stevens in the transfer portal. Now the designated hitter, Mark Quattrani, a rising junior, also in the transfer portal. First pitch from Stevens, away. Foul tipped into the mitt by Quattrani. No balls and 1 strike. Transfer portal versus transfer portal matchup. Welcome to baseball in the summer of 2025. Both players looking for new opportunities. Quattrani spent his first 2 years with the Cornell Big Red. 2-time First League All-Ivy selection. Quattrani sends this one on the ground over to the second baseman, and Kelly gets it off a few hops before throwing it to first base in plenty of time. It's a flyout and then a ground out is how the first 2 batters are retired for the Commodores in the top of the 7th inning.
From California, number 8, Carl
Really good piece of contact for Quattrani. 103 miles an hour off the bat for the rising junior.
He got that low fastball right where he wanted it.
Yeah.
Just rolled over on instead of drilling it and getting on a line out to right center.
Sends up Carl Schmidt into the righty box. First pitch from Stevens is away. Ball on the inside against the righty Schmidt. He has to turn his forward-facing left shoulder. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 gone now in the top of the 7th for a 5-1 Commodores lead. Visiting the Bourne Braves. Falmouth looking to improve on a 2-2 road record this season and a 3-6 start. The 1-0. Low again. This one's outside against Carl Schmidt. Now 2 balls, no strikes on the California left fielder. Schmidt 0 for 2 today after flying out to right, grounding out to short, and then being walked. 2-0. It's going to be cracked back over to shortstop. It's again going to be Ryan Cooney who comes up with it, throws over to first base, but it's going to be the first baseman and Craig who can't scoop it up. It'll be a 2-out. See if they call it an error or a single. We'll wait official scoring, but whatever it is, it's Carl Schmidt off of first base and keeps this top of the 7th inning alive for Falmouth and brings up the lefty in Justin Osterhaus.
I think some good speed too by Schmidt, kind of sped up Cooney. Took 1 peek at first, looked down, made sure the baseball was in there clean, then fired over. I think he just pops that right away, and Cousin doesn't think about it as much with the speed. Craig kind of reels it in a little bit easier.
Goes and gives a high five over to first base coach Quinn Stromberg, who's also making his return to Doran Park. First pitch to Justin Osterhaus is a ball. Inside, they will call it an error against Craig. First one of the game for either team. Schmidt at first base with an error. Now Osterhaus sees the 1 ball, no strike pitch upcoming. Here it is from Stevens. Check swing by Osterhaus. A quick look. Third base umpire and Timothy Carey says he does not go around. 2 balls, no strikes. To the rising junior, Alabama Crimson Tide transfer and Justin Osterhaus. 2 for 3 days so far for Osterhaus. Now looks to improve on it. The 1-1 to the Crimson Tide. Taken for a strike on the inner third. 1 ball and 2 strikes after that fastball lands by Stevens. Game 10 of the 2025 Cape Cod Baseball League season. First one back at Doran Park for former Braves assistant in Jared Saltzlamacchia and Quinn Stromberg. 1-2. Ball upstairs against Osterhaus. Count runs at 2 balls and 2 strikes. It was a nice pregame today between both Stromberg and Saltzlamacchia, seeing their former coaches and members of the Braves organization here at Doran Park. Stromberg now watches his lefty batter in Osterhaus, who faces the 2-2. Here it is. All low from Stevens. Actually had 1 more ball to it. A pitch behind. It's going to be a walk on 6 pitches to Justin Osterhaus. Now 2 aboard for Falmouth with 2 gone in an inning. Again, stop if you've heard that before over the last couple of games for the Commodores.
I'm also glad Osterhaus didn't think the count was 2-2 because he tossed the bat, left all the accessories, and walked down. It would have been embarrassing to walk back with a 3-2 count.
It would be, certainly. At first base, Quinn Stromberg will take the batting gloves off the hands of Justin Osterhaus.
There's been plenty of traffic on the base paths today for the Commodores.
Big reason why as well, because of Antonio Morales. Here's the Maryland right fielder into the lefty box. Leadoff man has been aboard already, twice in this game. First pitch to Morales. It's a swing that fouls off the catcher in Smithwick. No balls, 1 strike with 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning. 5-1 Commodores lead, and Falmouth threatening for more. Solid speed on the base pass between Carl Schmidt at second and Justin Osterhaus at first. for Antonio Morales. The pitch, 0-1. Fouled off of home plate again by Morales. This now goes to no balls, 2 strikes. Quick conversation between Morales and the on-deck batter and Adrian Lopez with 2 gone on the top of the 7th. Lopez hoping he can get on, or get up to the plate if Morales can get on. Long inning for Stevens. Here's the 18th pitch of his first inning of work, the 0-2. Ball just upstairs on Morales. Watch it into the mitt of the catcher in Campbell Smithwick. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the 5'9", 175-pound right fielder in Morales. That one was just above the letters. Stevens looks, delivers the 1-2. Held back at a play by Morales. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes.
How about this already? The 5th plate appearance for Morales, and it's only the 7th.
Yep.
Again, the amount of runs doesn't feel like a whole lot, but again, Commodores been a lot of runners on base.
That's the reason why he's the leadoff man. You want him here. Runners go on the 1-2. Swing and a miss for Morales to end the top of the 7th. First strikeout recorded by Stevens, and it strands another pair of Commodores runners on base, but still a 4-run lead for Falmouth to build off of. 5-1 Commodores entering the bottom of the 7th. Time running out for Bourne. We'll see what the Braves have when we come up next on Cape League TV.
I'm Devin Sheeran, right-handed pitcher from LSU, and you're listening to Commodores Baseball on Cape League TV.
Well, you just heard there from LSU right-hander Devin Sheeran, and now in the bottom of the 7th inning from Doran Park, where the Commodores lead the Braves 5-1. It's Devin Sheeran who will take the mound for his 3rd appearance on the summer of 2025. Here on Cape League TV, Ryan Martin alongside Andrew Delapiana. Andrew, I just mentioned for Sheeran, didn't get any time with that injury with LSU last year, but now making his 3rd appearance on the summer. The only difference between appearances 2 and 3 is now Devin Sheeran is a national champion with the Tigers.
Yeah, we had a long conversation with him on Sunday just about soaking that whole moment in and kind of what that meant for him to transfer out of a smaller school like Mount St. Mary's, get the chance to play at LSU. We'll see him a lot more next year once he gets back from that torn ACL, but he has really proved to Jay Johnson and that pitching staff that he belongs with the Tigers, pumping that fastball in at 95, 96. He said he doesn't think about throwing fast at all. He just kind of riles back and fires, and it just happens to go that fast. And he's been a lot of fun to watch so far this season.
Yeah, you mentioned the torn ACL for the Reading, Pennsylvania native. 6'5", 245 pounds for the right-hander, so didn't get any batters faced at LSU this past year. We'll start off by facing this batter in Texas Tech left fielder. And Logan Hughes fouls back the first pitch he sees. No balls, 1 strike. So Sheeran's been a member of the Commodores since opening day. He's been here getting more acclimated with Cape Cod, getting his pitching back as part of the 4-pitch mix of a fastball, slider, changeup, and curveball he has. All while watching LSU as often as he can, he tells us. 0-1. Ball upstairs against Hughes, who so far in the day 1 for 2. Single in the 1st inning and then flew out to right to end the 4th inning. Staying in the locker room on the golf course at Falmouth Country Club. Big swing and a miss there for strike 2 on Hughes. He's playing that 9-hole Talon course, and he was glued to that LSU Super
I
Regional.
will say his short game is very impressive for a guy that doesn't play a whole lot.
1 ball, 2 strikes now. Delivery from Sheeran. It's a ball upstairs and away on the lefty swinging Logan Hughes. 2 balls, 2 strikes for what's still a 5-1 Commodores lead, now in the bottom of the 7th.
And you think for a big guy that's 6'5", 245, could drive the ball 320, 310. That's not really the case. The short game's a strong suit.
2-2 from Sheeran. Here's a ball upstairs. Count runs full on the first batter that Sheeran faces in this game. First batter in the bottom of the 7th. Short game guy. One of the younger Commodores as well. He won't turn 20 until the 2nd week of August.
It doesn't look like it.
No. 6'5", 245. Intimidating presence. And he delivers the full count. This one swing and on a line foul by Hughes. Count remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And his use of his off speed as well with that changeup. He mixed that in with 96 on a fastball. It's really hard for hitters to time up because you're expecting it so often. He pumps it in 60% of the time when he breaks out the breaking ball.
Payoff from Sheeran. Again, foul down the first base line by Logan Hughes. We'll do it again.
And this is power on power right now, especially the way Logan Hughes has been swinging the bat so far.
Back-to-back 96-mile-per-hour pitches from Devin Sheeran. That's about as fast as his fastball will top out for the 6'5", 245-pound righty. The payoff again. Sheeran runs upstairs in a way of Bear Harrison. You heard that clank off the brick that lines the Dorn Park backstop. It's a full count walk for Logan Hughes as the first Bravos batter in the bottom of the 7th.
Number 35, Jacob Krieg.
This is a Commodores pitching staff that doesn't walk too many batters comparatively. 34 walks coming into Game 10 of the Cape League season was 8th most by staff so far on Cape Cod. That's exactly where that ERA ranked as well, 3.87. Here's Jacob Craig, the first baseman for Oregon State. Watches the ball get away from Harrison. And it bounces off the brick on the wild pitch from Sheeran, and on the play, it's Hughes who advances from first to second base, with still no one out in the bottom of the 7th.
Definitely got to be careful of that ricochet because, I mean, even for a guy like Sheeran throwing 96, that ball just ricocheted right back to Bear Harrison before he even got out of the crouch.
We haven't heard a ball hit that brick backstop at all this game, and then happens on back-to-back pitches. For a moment, you think maybe there'd be a throwdown to Hughes at second, but instead it's just into the pocket of Harrison. 1 ball, no strikes from Sheeran. Craig won't offer a pitch that just goes outside the zone. Maybe in towards the left-handed batter's box, and the righty swinging Oregon State first baseman Craig keeps the bat on the shoulders for a 2 ball, no strike count. Sun fully set here at Dorn Park, and lights in full effect in Bourne. The 2-0. It's a ball outside again. 4 consecutive balls thrown for Devin Sheeran. That's how we are at a 3-0 count. To size versus size, height versus height. 6'5", 240-pound Craig versus the 6'5", 245-pound Sheeran. Battle of the heavyweights here as Sheeran takes a look at second in the 3-0. Ball outside again from Sheeran. The LSU Tiger delivers back-to-back walks to start this outing. And the first guy who's going to come in, it's going to be his first baseman, Kent Schmidt. The whole infield walks in. Todd Carroll as well will join them to have a word on the mound.
So this is third time coming out for Todd Carroll to speak out the pitcher. And the 3 arms have really answered the bell ever since those meetings. Todd Carroll's got a great resume at MIT. Just finished up his 10th season there. His team is always in the top 5 in a bunch of different pitching staff categories. He's been at this game for a long time.
Celebrated his birthday this past Sunday, so happy belated to Todd Carroll. Someone who's always pretty mellow. You'll see him pregame. He had that birthday smile on his face Sunday. And what was a 2-run loss, just a single run loss to YD. Staying calm now. That's what he wants Devin Sheeran to do. With Hughes off of second, Craig off of first, in this 5-1 Commodores lead. No one gone for the Bourne Braves lineup in the bottom of the 7th inning. As Campbell Smithwick into the lefty box for the 3rd time today. He's 0 for 2 with a pair of punch-outs. First pitch from Sheeran. It's a ball just inside on the lefty swing. Smithwick, 1 ball, no strikes.
It kind of feels like this is the point in the game where the Braves want to come back. This is their chance to do it.
Look over at second for Sheeran, then brings home the 1-0. Another tough take on a ball inside for Smithwick. 2 balls, no strikes. So far, just one run on 1 hit for Bourne. That hit came in the 5th batter in this game. Nothing's now in the top of the 7th. 2-0. Turns to a 3-0 on a pitch inside again. Sheeran's hit same location, same result for 3 straight pitches. How about this now? 8 straight balls for the LSU right-hander and Sheeran. 3 consecutive since his pitching coach Todd Carroll came out. 3-0 again from Sheeran. Strike, middle. Just one that Sheeran needed to see hit the glove of his catcher in Bear Harrison. And it was the catching counterpart, Campbell Smithwick, who was taking all the way. 2-1 for Bourne. Now a 3-1 to Smithwick. Pitch, swing, and a miss from the backstop in Smithwick. Count runs full at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And when in doubt, fire that fastball.
Oregon shortstop Ryan Cooney waiting on deck. We'll see what the situation looks like here. Full count, no one out. Sheeran stares down. The pitch. Fouled back and spoiled by Smithwick. We're entering the 7th pitch of this at-bat between Devin Sheeran, the right-hander, and the lefty swinging catcher, Campbell Smithwick. Newest Oklahoma State Cowboy who announced his commitment to Stillwater just this morning on June 25th. Look down, delivers the payoff again. Swing and a miss, big strikeout. Or did he just get a piece of it? Bear Harrison looking around. He did not pull down what would be the foul tipped into the glove from Smithwick. So hold that for a second. We'll have another one to come between Sheeran and Smithwick. And before that even happens, it's third base umpire Timothy Carey coming to have a word with home plate umpire Ramirez. He might have gotten tipped by that pitch as well.
He absolutely did. It just caught off the bat of Smithwick, in and out of Harrison's glove, then redeflected off the left arm of Ramirez behind home plate. Just needed a moment to collect himself.
Well, you hear from Ramirez himself. Thought we're pausing for a moment to get Ramirez a bit of water. He'll take one as we enter the 8th inning.
Yeah, it's not a fun job back there.
Ramirez points his right hand towards the right-hander in Devin Sheeran, where the count still goes full against the catcher Campbell Smithwick. 2 on for the Braves. The pitch. This ball that runs inside, making a 3rd consecutive walk allowed by Devin Sheeran on the first 3 batters he faces in this game. And that looks like it'll be all that Sheeran has in this 3rd outing on the season. Bases are loaded for Bourne for the first time today. Sheeran throws the rosin bag as first-year field manager Jared Saltzlamakia comes out to have a word with Sheeran. We'll take the ball out of Sheeran's righty glove. Falmouth up 5-1 over Bourne. We'll step aside for just a moment and announce who the next pitcher is. And the 4th pitcher utilized in this game for what is a 4-run Commodores lead in the bottom of the 7th, right here from Dorn Park on Cape League TV. Still bottom of the 7th here from Dorn Park in Bourne, Massachusetts, where the Falmouth Commodores up 5-1 over the Braves in game number 10 of the Cape Cod Baseball League season. Here on Cape League TV, Ryan Martin joined alongside Andrew Delapiana. And Andrew, third appearance on Cape Cod for Devin Sheeran was one to forget. He walks 3 consecutive batters to load the bases for the Bravos, who look to build into this 4-run deficit. That'll do it for the day on Sheeran, so now it's the Rhode Island Ram, the right-hander, Joe Sabbath.
Yeah, the earliest we've seen Sabbath so far this season. He's been that 9th inning kind of closer role for Falmouth, but to bring him out here early in the 7th inning with some serious traffic on the base pass as well, the bases loaded, nobody out. He has been solid so far. Just the 1 run allowed in 3 innings of work. 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. Fastball not as high as Sheeran's. In the low 90s, if you will. So it's a slider about 40% of the time. Mixes in a changeup and curveball as well. But he did get the loss his last time out against Whitey on Sunday. So trying to redeem himself. But already have the potential tying run at home plate. Makes it a little bit more dangerous.
The rising junior from Pequannock, New Jersey, and former Atlantic 10 second-team selection, has 5, 6, and 7 all in the base pass due to those walks from Sheeran. And now we'll face the 8-hole hitter Ryan Cooney. Oregon shortstop in this righty on righty. Deep breath and first pitch from Sabbath. Ball outside against Cooney. 1 ball, no strikes. Still no one gone in the top of the 7th inning, in the bottom of the 7th inning, with the bases juiced for Bourne. First time today either team has had bases loaded. It's a 5-1 Commodores lead that Sabbath looks to preserve. 1-0 from the rim. Strike on the lower third of the zone. Fastball registering for Sabbath at 92.
He's going to keep these pitches low in the zone. They're going to roll over, cause that double play. You're fine with trading the 2 outs for the 1 run.
3.95 ERA for Sabbath in his sophomore season with Rhode Island. The 1-1. It's a ball outside against the righty swing Oregon Duck and Cooney. Count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. For Cooney, he made just his first appearance on Cape Cod last night in that 2-1 win at Orleans. Didn't have an RBI. Could he have one here? 2-1 is skied into foul territory right behind our heads down the first base line. 2 balls and 1 strike now. To the rising junior from Portland, Oregon, and Jesuit High School. Cooney, the only true freshman to start opening day for a really good Ducks team. Ended up playing in 46 more games, made 22 starts on the season. Now looks in. The 2-1 from Sabbath. On a line, but just foul over the first base bag. Maybe if it was Schmidt not holding on Campbell Smithwick at first base, you could have seen Schmidt catching that ball in foul territory, but instead it's just a simple 2-2 count. No outs in the bottom of the 7th. Nowhere to put Ryan Cooney. Joe Sabbath takes a breath and delivers the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Big first out on the first batter face for the Rhode Island Ram and Joe Sabbath. It's Cooney going down on strikes for the first time today.
Batting from Illinois, number 8, Nick Groves.
And you can sense the sigh of relief that was kind of just lifted from this Falmouth ball club, getting that much needed first out. Now double play away from getting out of this.
The slider from Sabbath slowing down to 78 miles an hour. Got a really nice 2-plane break. And it now brings up second leadoff man in the 9th spot, Nick Groves, to the lefty box. First pitch from Sabbath is low and inside by the shoelaces of the Fighting Illini right fielder in Groves. 1 ball, no strikes. After the strikeout from Cooney, there's 1 out in the bottom of the 7th inning. Bases still loaded for Bourne. 1 swing on the bat could tie this game from Groves in what is a 5-1 Commodores lead. The 1-0 from Sabbath. Right down Main Street for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike now. Nick Groves, the rising senior, just finished his first season of Big Ten baseball with the Fighting Illini, appearing in 43 games. Now with the chance for his first RBI in the summer. The 1-1, swing and a miss on the fastball. That goes top of the zone from Sabbath, 92 miles an hour for strike 2. Groves 0 for 2 so far today, looking for his first time on base on Cape Cod. He's 0 for 6 with 3 strikeouts. Sabbath looks down for the 1-2. Swing and foul down the third base line. This one's trailing into the stands, and that's where it will land. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes. This feels like it's the moment for Bourne in this game. Still just one run on one hit that came way back in the first inning. Now in the bottom of the 7th, they're all loaded thanks to 3 straight walks for Devin Sheeran.
And they've come through in their last 3 wins after a really slow start.
1-2. Sabbath delivers. Change up. That's skied onto the left side of the outfield. Osterhaus makes way for it. The third baseman collides with the left fielder in foul territory, but it will drop in foul territory. And after all of that commotion, right past the Bourne Braves dugout down the third base line, it's still just going to be a 1-2. We'll redo.
And Groves definitely lucky that was kind of towards no man's land out of the left field line. Kind of tossed his bat closer to the Commodores dugout, maybe in frustration just a little bit.
Big moment for Groves to come through for the first time as a Bourne Brave. On this lefty versus righty matchup, Joe Sabbath, the Rhode Island Ram closer, appearing in the 7th. He delivers again, the 1-2. Called strike 3 on Groves. Back-to-back punch-outs in the biggest moment for Joe Sabbath. First one swinging. This one is not for Nick Groves, but it doesn't matter. There's 2 outs now for Falmouth in the bottom of the 7th. Base is still loaded for the Bravos as the lineup card flips over. Strikeouts 1 and 2 for Joe Sabbath. He's used these high-pressure roles where he was top 10 for single-season saves with Rhode Island this past spring. Now here's John LeGrand. Leadoff center fielder's already been walked twice. First pitch from Sabbath. It's low and away on the St. John's outfielder. 5-1 Commodores. Bottom of the 7th inning. Now there's 2 outs for this 4-run Commodores lead. It's the largest lead for Falmouth in this 4-game span. Commodores have lost 3 straight. 1-0 from Sabbath. It's another ball. Good take there from LeGrand. Just painting the outside corner, but can't fall in. 2 balls, no strikes. Sabbath. Breath at the belt. Kicks and deals. On the ground and down for a base hit into right field. Hughes comes around to score. Craig takes a turnaround third. He'll go home as well. It's a 2 RBI single with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th for John LeGrand. The first hit for Bourne since the first inning makes it 5-3 Falmouth.
From West Virginia, number 7, Gavin Kelly.
We talked about this being one of the most important parts of the game so far, and John LeGrand coming up in a huge spot to get the Braves right back into it. Joe Sabbath was so close to getting out of it unscathed. That would have been quite the Houdini act.
Came in, the bases loaded and no one out, and was down to just the last batter faced. But it's LeGrand on with a 2 RBI single. Here's Gavin Kelly, the second base. First pitch to the Mountaineer. It's a strike right down Main Street. Where the 2-hole hitter, who's so far today 0 for 2. Strikeout in the first, ground out to short to end the third, and then was walked and stranded in the 6th. Both teams busy on the base pass. Now 2 on here for Kelly. Here's the 0-1. Strike in the lower third. It's the slider again that works out for Sabbath. Slows it down to 80 miles an hour. After dealing with some pressure on the base paths, Sabbath allows 2 runs, but he's 1 strike away from keeping this a 5-3 Commodores lead. The bottom of the 7th. Sabbath works quickly from the belt. The 0-2. Fouled back out of play by Kelly. That one's over the first base dugout. We'll send a couple kids screaming and sprinting for a souvenir. So Campbell Smith took off second. John LeGrand off of first base after the 2 RBI single. We'll do it again. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 gone, the bottom of the 7th. From Sabbath, the pitch. Again, fouled into the netting by Kelly. There's a long break there in the set position for Joe Sabbath.
He's a guy who works rather quickly, so just trying to slow down Kelly's timing just a little bit. Took a long look at second as well with Smithwick standing over there.
Sabbath, the 4th pitcher utilized by Falmouth and first-year pitching coach Todd Carroll after a good start. A third appearance from Caden Eschman. Here, though, again, is the no ball, 2-strike pitch. Ball just going low on the righty Kelly. That one might have crept into the left-handed batter's box. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 gone to the bottom of the 7th, where Bourne has already played a 2 on the 2 RBI single from John LeGrand. Falmouth infield can go to any base. It's normal depth for the 4 infielders. The 1-2. Before that, it's a look over and a fake throw from Sabbath over to second baseman Morrison. It'll bring back Campbell Smithwick. Come back and set on this righty versus righty. 1 ball, 2 strikes from Sabbath. Swing and a miss again. 3 strikeouts from Joe Sabbath. The only problem is after the first 2, a 2 RBI single for John LeGrand cuts into his deficit and cuts the Falmouth lead in half. In the 7th inning, it's 2 runs on 1 hit, no errors, a pair left on base for Bourne. Bravo's climbing back, but it's still a 5-3 Commodores lead entering the top of the 8th here from Durham Park. We'll talk to you in a second on Cape League TV. Second hit in this game, but 3 walks were the real difference maker for the Bourne Braves in the bottom of the 7th inning. Now here in the top of the 8th, it's still Falmouth up 5-3 over the Bravos, but that 4-run lead all of a sudden cut in half to just 2, where Falmouth looks to plate its first run since the 5th inning. Here on Cape League TV from Durham Park, I'm Ryan Martin alongside Andrew Della Piana. Andrew, maybe the first real action we've seen from Bourne offensively. Now that turns to defensively, where 2, 3, and 4 are due up for the Commodores.
Yeah, if you're a Falmouth fan, I feel like it's a little bit more on the lucky side to only get 2 out of that for the Braves. And a lot of credit to Joe Sabbath as well, put in that tough spot with the bases loaded, nobody out, and to only have that 1 hit kind of take away that inning. Again, that's why insurance is so important in this game, and Falmouth looking for more.
Exactly what Falmouth is going to be trying here with Adrian Lopez, Micah New, and Bear Harrison due up. We'll start off with the shortstop and Lopez. Just 1 for 2 so far in the day after a pair of walks and a pair of innings. Here's the first pitch that Lopez sees. It's a strike atop the zone. Fastball that runs in there. No balls and 1 strike. To lead off the 8th inning with Adrian Lopez. He's working on the righty Stevens, who delivers the 0-1. Lopez cracks it foul out of play for a no ball, 2 strike count now. Again, introduce Stevens, who celebrated his 21st birthday just yesterday. The rising junior in the transfer portal after 2 seasons, not playing at Alabama. Now stares down Lopez in this righty on righty. Stevens looks at the belt, now kicks and deals the 0-2. Lopez fouls it back into play, again down the first base line. The righty just laid on it. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Commodores still up to 7 hits. Latest coming on the 2 RBI double for Ken Schmidt in the 5th inning. That was the second of 2 extra base hits Falmouth has in the game. Commodores had none yesterday. 0-2, runs upstairs on Lopez, who has to duck his head. 1 ball and 2 strikes. the leadoff man and the USC shortstop in Adrian Lopez. Couple taps of home plate for Adrian Lopez before a slow gray bat above his right shoulder. Stevens, the 1-2. Lopez pops it up on the infield, right side where it's the first baseman in Craig, who puts the tan glove up with his left hand and pulls down the first out in the top of the 8th inning.
And it kind of feels like for the Commodores, you need at least one or two in these next few frames to feel a little bit safer. It's a solid Braves lineup 1 through 9 that can kind of strike at any time, like we saw last inning. And you really just want to be on the safe side of things.
And we've seen Falmouth already utilize 4 arms in this game, 3 out of the bullpen between Barrett, Sheeran, and Sabbath. See how much longer Sabbath has as the righty Mike Anu steps in against Stevens. First pitch to the transfer portal center fielder is a ball outside. 1 ball, no strikes. With 1 gone on top of the 8th inning, Commodores still lead 5-3 over the Bourne Braves in game number 10 of the 2025 Cape Cod Baseball League season. There's Mike Anu, 1 for 4 today. On the 1-0, turns to a 2-0 as the center fielder has to pull outs of the right-handed batter's box. Now 2 balls and no strikes. New lined out, popped out before the RBI triple to plate the Commodores' second run, and struck out in the 6th. 2-0 was a take all the way, and it's a strike on the outer third against New. 2 balls, 1 strike. Stevens working quickly from the belt. Now here's 2-1. Swing and miss from New on the fastball outside that hits 95 miles an hour. Again, a flamethrower in the transfer portal from Jonathan Stevens. A couple seasons learning under Alabama coach Rob Vaughn, but didn't face a single batter in Tuscaloosa. Now the 2-2 from Stevens. Called strike 3. Outer third goes back to the fastball. Clocks in at 94 miles an hour. It's the second strikeout looking for Mike Anu in the last 3 innings played. It's now 2 gone in the top of the 8th inning with the first 2 Commodore batters retired.
That's back-to-back at-bats for New, where it's pitches that are close, and it's one of those things where you can't let the umpire make a decision in that spot, where you just have to throw your hands to the baseball, maybe get yourself another chance, maybe not, but don't leave it up to the ump.
Strikeouts number 9 and 10 for New on the season. One righty replaces another. Here's the catcher in Bear Harrison. First pitch to Bear. There's a strike on the outer third. No balls, 1 strike. Harrison looking to put together some 2-out hitting for what would be his second hit of the day. So far, officially just 1 for 2 after being walked, hit by a pitch in his first 2 at-bats. Second pitch to Harrison is a strike taken on the outside. Check swing from the Texas A&M catcher and St. Mary's College transfer. After what was at times a rocky 7th inning, Stevens has a chance to sit them all down. The 0-2. Called strike 3. Second time Stevens gets the backwards K, and as many batters faced, 2 through 4 go down quietly for the Commodores, and now Bourne with a chance to take its first lead since the score read 1-0. It's 5-0 Commodores after Falmouth goes down in order. We'll talk to you in the bottom of the 8th here on Cape League TV. Bourne Braves threatening here against the Falmouth Commodores. It's a Doors team that leads 5-3 entering the bottom of the 8th inning. Now 6 more outs to play with for this Bravos team that's looking to win a 4th consecutive game and hand Falmouth a 4th straight loss. Here on Cape League TV from Durham Park, I'm Ryan Martin alongside Andrew Delapiana. And Andrew, those 2 runs felt like the momentum sprawled all the way to Bourne's side of the dugout on the left side of the field, where it now reads 5-3.
Yeah, this game is very far from over. It felt like at that one point when it was 5-1, and Bourne's offense was getting a little bit of lulls a little bit. But you fire back with that 7th inning, and no doubt they are still well within reach of this game.
Here's Joe Sabbath into his 2nd inning of work. Came in with the bases loaded, nobody outs in the bottom of the 7th, and only allowed 2 runs. That's how 3, 4, and 5 are now up. Starting with the lefty, Wake Forest's Cade Lewis. Lefty on righty, first pitch from Sabbath. Is swing and miss from Lewis on the outer fastball. No balls, 1 strike.
Should also know Ben Royo now in the game at second base, replacing Kyle Morrison.
Morrison will not lead off the top of the 9th. Now it'll be Royo in his spot. Good call there. The 0-1. It's a ball on the inside against the lefty swinging Wake Forest designated hitter Cade Lewis. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Especially with a good lineup of Lewis, Holcomb, and Hughes coming up. Some really good bats.
Royo hasn't had this start offensively he's wanted this summer. 1-1 is going to go low and away again on Lewis. 2 balls, 1 strike. But a big moment now for the Texas A&M middle infielder. Good defensive glove as well there to replace Morrison. Hear more about Royo's batting and potentially if there's some insurance, or maybe it would be a comeback needed for Falmouth on the top of the 9th. We'll have to wait and see. No gone. Bottom 8, here's a 2-1. Ball inside by the shoelaces again for Cade Lewis. He's 0 for 3 today so far with a strikeout swinging in the 6th inning, highlighting that resume. Slow bat over the shoulder. It's frozen there with the bright yellow gloves for Cade Lewis. Sees the 3-1. Lewis swings and fans through a 2nd strike. 2 strikes, both emphatic for the 6'3", 220-pound designated hitter. Will turn 21 on July 4th. Full count now to Lewis. Lewis backs it into center field, down for a base hit. Right past the shortstop and Adrian Lopez on the left side of the second base bag. It's a leadoff single for Bourne. First of the game for the Bravos, and it puts Lewis on to begin the 8th.
He was all over that breaking ball, scorching back into center field where it came from. In these last 2 innings, the jolt of offense the Braves have gotten, it's just been good plate discipline, a lot of just eagerness to foul off a bunch of pitches as well and stay alive. Was really not the case with Eschman early on.
In the bottom of the 8th, the game-tying run in this 5-3 Falmouth lead now comes to the plate. It's the big rising junior at Vanderbilt, Braden Holcomb, today's 3rd baseman. Righty on righty, Sabbath looks in. First pitch, swinging a miss there from Holcomb. He was way out ahead of the 82-mile-per-hour slider from Sabbath. Look in from Sabbath. No real peek over at first base where Cade Lewis now stands after the leadoff single. 0-1. It's a ball outside into the left-handed batter's box, and the righty Holcomb doesn't get the bat off the shoulders. 1 ball, 1 strike. On the night of the NBA draft, this guy who looks like who could be playing in that league. 6'5", 240 pounds is where the rising junior Braden Holcomb steps into the right-handed box.
Probably wouldn't take him over Cooper Flagg, but
yeah, you never know. Something tells me Flagg would be a little bit better on the court. 1-1. It's a ball outside. Curveball can't fall in for Sabbath from 73 miles an hour. Exciting night all around. Got the NBA draft, and you're on Cape Cod. We're already thinking a month ahead towards that Major League Baseball draft on July 13th. 2-1. Before that, it's a look and throw over to Ken Schmidt at first base. A slide in, but no real tag applied to Cade Lewis. Holcomb so far today, he's 0 for 2. Pair of groundouts to the second baseman, who is then Kyle Morrison, but now, before the bottom of the 8th, he was replaced defensively by Ben Royal. 2-1 is fouled back way over our heads, down the first base side, over home plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes in this 5-3 Commodores lead. Doors played a run in the top of the second, then had that 4-run top of the 5th inning. One of the best half innings we've seen offensively from the Doors in quite some time, certainly during this 3-game losing streak. And the Braves, who played the first run of this game in the bottom of the first, played it 2 runs just an inning ago to make this a 5-3 margin. Sabbath stares down Holcomb and delivers the 2-2. Ball just low from Sabbath. Can't believe that the 90-mile-per-hour fastball didn't crash in. Holcomb will take a stroll around the right-handed batter's box before the full count pitch. 3 balls and 2 strikes. No one retired in the bottom of the 8th. Cade Lewis gets a throw back over to first base. He'll dive in. Wake Forest Demon Deacon does not have any stolen bases so far on the season. He's played in all 10 games for the Bravos, as has Braden Holcomb, who will touch his baby blue bat twice on home plate from the right-handed batter's box. 2024 Cape League All-Star looks down Sabbath. The pitch, 3-2. It's chopped at. Down to third base. Justin Osterhaus comes way over, throws over to first base, but not in time. Where Braden Holcomb, again at 6'5", 240, has sneaky speed. He lugs out an infield single, put a pair of Bravos on, and now the leading run comes up to the dish.
Now batting from
Texas Tech left fielder Logan Hughes, still a 5-3 Commodores lead. No one out in the bottom of the 8th.
Just kind of an unlucky play for Osterhaus, where that ball caroms off a home plate, takes about one of the highest bounces I think I've ever seen. Plays it on the 2-hop and then has to throw off his off balance. It's a really tough ask for a guy.
First time today we've seen consecutive hits for the Braves. Hits number 3 and 4 in this game. Here's the lefty Hughes, lefty versus righty. Before that, to throw over to Adrian Lopez at second. Lewis is upstanding. 5-3 Commodores lead.
And this is really the last guy you wanted to see. Just about top 10 in every offensive category through the first 10 games.
Hughes, the rising junior at Texas Tech. Transfer from Stetson fouls back the first pitch he sees. No balls, 1 strike. What a game that Hughes had just last night in that 2-1 win at Orleans. He went 3 for 3 with a homer in the 9th inning to take the lead at Eldridge Park. Second win by just a run in the last 3 games in this win streak for Bourne. The 0-1 outside for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to the Red Raiders left fielder. So far today, he's 1 for 2 with a single in the first, fly out to right in the 4th, and then was walked and scored one of those 2 runs an inning ago. Pair of Bravos on base, both on via the single, given up by Joe Sabbath. He delivers the 1-1. This one racked into left field. Not having to move too much as Carl Schmidt. He'll move maybe a stride or 2 to his left and pull down a big first out in the bottom of the 8th with 2 Bravos on.
Now batting from Oregon State, number 35, Jacob Krieg.
So Cade Lewis goes back to second. Braden Holcomb will return to first. And Jacob Craig stands back in to the right-handed batter's box on a righty versus righty matchup against Joe Sabbath. No real action in the Commodores' bullpen as Joe Sabbath signals for the pitch comm to be called again. It's called. With 1 out, here's the first pitch delivered to the Beaver. Fouled out of play again by Craig. No balls, 1 strike. 1 retired in the bottom of the 8th inning in this 5-3 Commodores lead. 1 swing at the bat for Jacob Craig could take the lead for Bourne. First lead that the Bravos would have had since a 1-0 lead after the first inning of play. Sabbath looks at the belt and delivers. 0-1. Swing and a miss from Craig. Way out ahead of the 77-mile-an-hour slider.
Still trying to get rid of those strikeout problems. He got an adjustment from his hitting coach halfway through the season. He got rid of the leg kick. That swing looks a little bit more like Albert Pujols nowadays without it.
Haven't seen it work yet today. 0 for 2 line. Craig was walked and scored. The 0-2. Ball way upstairs. 90 miles an hour gets away from Sabbath. But Harrison keeps in front of him to keep both runners at first and second respectively. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes to the Beavers' first baseman. Again, a batter with a lot of size. 4th-year manager Scott Landers, 6'5", 240. 1-2 from Sabbath. The pitch. This ball just outside, nearing the left-handed batter's box. Against the righty in Craig. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Commodores have led since the top of the 5th inning, where Falmouth plated 4 runs on 3 hits in that half inning alone. You can see it go straight. The 2-2. Called strike 3. Sabbath takes off the gloves. He thought that might have been out number 3. Instead, it's just strike number 3 on Jacob Craig. His 4th punch out in this game. Does make a big second out in the bottom of the 8th, but they're not done yet. Campbell Smithwick now stands into the lefty box. Smithwick knows what it's been looking like to get rung up on pitches today. He's struck out twice today. 1 looking, 1 swinging. Sabbath will throw back to second base. Tag applied by Lopez, but it's Cade Lewis in safely. 2 gone in the bottom of the 8th. A 5-3 Commodores lead. Falmouth has led since the top of the 5th inning. It's been a get-right game for the Commodores offensively, including in that half inning. First pitch. Strike taken on the inner third. 90 miles an hour on the heater from Sabbath. Falmouth has lost 3 straight games and scored a combined 6 runs. Now, a 5-3 lead over Bourne. Looking to break out of that L3 streak and kill the 3-game winning streak that Bourne has of its own. The 0-1. Check swing, but not going around is Campbell Smithwick. Sees the count go to 1 ball and 1 strike. Cade Lewis off of second base. And Braden Holcomb off of first. Smithwick looks to advance him with 2 gone in the bottom of the 8th. Sabbath, a long deep breath, delivers the 1-1. Ball just outside for Smithwick. 2 balls, 1 strike now to the Oklahoma State catcher. And former Ole Miss Rebel. Became a Cowboy as just of this morning. Excited about the coaching, the history in Stillwater. Now looking to make some history of his own. Cut into this 2-run Falmouth lead. The pitch. Before that, it's going to be Sabbath who spins around, throws over to second. Adrian Lopez won't even apply the tag when he catches the baseball from Joe Sabbath. Sabbath, slow, happy feet. The ball at his belt, now the 2-1. Pitch just gets the outer third of the zone on the fastball. Solid frame again from Bear Harrison.
It's been a couple of pitches that he's done a really good job of selling. I'll give him that.
Deuces run wild, and what's a 2-run Commodores lead. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 gone in the bottom of the 8th. Deep breath, and Sabbath delivers. Ball spiked into the dirt. Good stop from Harrison will keep Lewis at second. Osterhaus went over to cover third base, but there won't even be any throw or action because of the Texas A&M catcher's block. A huge pitch in this game with Falmouth up 5-3 over Bourne. It's a full count with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th against the Oklahoma State catcher Campbell Smithwick from the 7th spot. A lefty versus righty, payoff upcoming. Sabbath breathes in, looks over to his battery mate Harrison, and delivers. Before that, again, it's been a couple times. He's been a little bit early because Sabbath, you think that payoff pitch is coming, but he's really worried about Lewis at second.
I don't know if you necessarily have to be either, especially with the potential game time run at first and not at second.
Sabbath won't be able to avoid this payoff forever. 3 balls, 2 strikes with 2 gone and a 2-run Commodores lead. The pitch. So ball just low against Campbell Smithwick. Full count walk with 2 gone in the bottom of the 8th. And again, bases are loaded with Joe Sabbath on the mound for Falmouth. Bourne with a serious chance if they can piece together some 2-out hittings in this 2-run deficit.
It's kind of hard to believe with it hasn't been a game full of command for this Falmouth pitching staff. 8 walks allowed. But you only look at the scoreboard and the 4 hits, 3 runs allowed. It means they've done a really good job of getting out of tough situations. A little bit of deja vu for Joe Sabbath, who had the bases loaded with 2 outs last inning. Allowed that 2-run single that made it a 2-run game. Basically the exact same situation for Ryan Cooney, but with a chance to tie it.
First walk issued by Joe Sabbath after he came in and replaced Devin Sheeran. He faced 3 batters and issued 3 walks to load the bases. That's how Sabbath came into this game with 2 outs, and after that mound visit between Sabbath and Kyle Morrison, that was just to buy time before first-year field manager Jared Saltzlamakia and his return to Bourne after spending 3 years here as an assistant and winning 2 Cape League championships. He'll come take the ball out of the Rhode Island Ram Joe Sabbath's hand. Quick handshake between Saltzlamakia and Sabbath in this key moment in this game. Bases are loaded for Bourne with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning. Falmouth up 5-3 as Commodores look to break this 3-game losing streak. If that won't keep you locked in here on Cape League TV, I'm not sure what will. We'll talk to you next after this pitching change. Second consecutive inning, the Falmouth Commodores leading the Bourne Braves, but the Bravos have the bases loaded with the pitching change made by first-year field manager Jared Saltzlamakia in his first return back to Doran Park here in Bourne. It's 5-3 Commodores entering in the bottom of the 8th with 2 outs here on Cape League TV. Ryan Martin alongside Andrew Della Piana. We've been here all game. We've been on Cape Cod since game number 1. Now at game number 10 is where we'll see the first appearance from West Virginia right-hander Robbie Porco, and he comes into this game in a big moment for the Commodores.
Yeah, it's an interesting spot for a guy that, arrived here about 2 days ago. Comes in, bases loaded, 2 outs. Was really solid this season for West Virginia, sub-ERA in 12 appearances. Pitched over 21 innings. Walk to strikeout numbers were a little too high, 20 to 24 in that ratio. And still seems to be something up with the pitch comm here with Porco.
Conversation as well with fourth-year manager and Scott Landers.
Didn't seem to appear to be working when he got out there. He was looking down at his wrist, hadn't even thrown a warm-up pitch yet when there was about a minute left on the pitch clock. As now Bear Harrison, the catcher, asking for sign. This will be interesting. Might have to go the old-fashioned way.
We'll have to see. First batter he faces is Ryan Cooney. First pitch to Cooney, swing and a miss. There you see the fastball upstairs, 96 miles an hour from the Mountaineer and rising senior. Originally from Warrington, Pennsylvania. 6'8", 235. Again, on that night of the NBA draft, big frame. Bases loaded. Here the 0-1 from Porco. Another strike right down Main Street. This time it's Cooney who doesn't offer at it. No balls and 2 strikes now. That one hit 97 off the right arm of Porco. Now where to put him with 2 outs. The 0-2. Just upstairs on the shortstop in Cooney. Robbie Porco could have just got 3 straight strikes to get out of this jam. I'll have to do it once more. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 gone to the bottom of the 8th. Bases loaded for Bourne in this 5-3 Commodores lead. The pitch is spoiled back by Cooney off the home plate netting. We'll do the 1 ball, 2 strike count again. Cooney so far today, he's 0 for 3. Ground out to third, ground out to short, and then a strikeout swinging an inning ago. Again, one of 4 Bravos to make his first appearance on the summer yesterday. The 1-2. Again, fouled out of play down the first base line. So an 0 for 3 day from Cooney today after a 1 for 4 night at Orleans last night. Make him 1 for 7 so far. This would be a huge time to have his first Cape League RBI. The rising junior, an Oregon Duck. Righty on righty. Deep breath from Porco. The 1-2 home. Fouled back right towards the on-deck hitter in Nick Groves. He'll actually put his left hand up and grab that before throwing it back to a bat boy. We'll do the 1 ball, 2 strike count for a 3rd time. This is Ben Bourne's bread and butter as of recently. This 3-game winning streak, 2 of those wins have came by just 1 run. 1-2 is popped up, heading foul, slicing back towards the first base light pole. That's exactly where we'll hit off of before being a new souvenir for a fan in attendance for some Wednesday night baseball from Doran Park. Hot day has turned into a cooler Wednesday night before the off day tomorrow. These Bourne bats looking to stay hot, riding a 3-game winning streak. Porco looks down, shakes off twice at his pitch calm that sits right above his brown glove on his left hand. The right-hander from the stretch in the righty on righty matchup. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ball just upstairs, getting that fastball that Porco loves to go to. This one hits 88 for the righty. I think this might be one of the first times that the right-handed pitcher in Porco and the catcher Harrison are working together. Porco just being activated yesterday. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the 8th. Fouled back by Cooney. The Oregon shortstop has done a great job at resisting his 2nd strikeout in as many at-bats. Trying to put together his first Cape League hit with the bases loaded. And the Bravos down by 2 in the bottom of the 8th. As big of a moment as any in this game. Nowhere for Robbie Porco to put him on. The 2-2. Porco sets the pitch. Ball upstairs. Is that bat destined to go full? That's exactly what will happen. On the West Virginia Mountaineer, pitching to the Oregon Duck on this righty on righty. Clap start around Doran Park. They know how big of this game this is. We're the West Division champion in each of the last 3 seasons for Bourne. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Porco looks, the pitch. Fouled back off of the home plate umpire and Ruben Ramirez's helmet. We'll do the full count 2-out pitch again, but first another look at Ramirez, who's gotten banged up a few times in this contest.
He got a line drive, I should say a foul tip right back to the front of his mask. You match that in with good speed from Porco, tipped off the bat, drills you right in the face, and he's down on 1 knee right now, just behind home plate. Athletic trainer for the Commodores, Matty Clef, out there to take a look at him. As Willis, Scott Landers, Jared Soltomachia.
Moment for Ramirez. Bourne's athletic training staff will also come take a look as both field managers having a word with their home plate umpire, making sure that Ruben Ramirez III is okay. As he gives a thoughtful nod to Matty Cleff. He mentioned the athletic trainer for the Commodores this season. And a couple innings ago, it was Ramirez who took a foul ball off the helmet. He passed on the water. This time they'll get him a glass of some water in the green Gatorade cup. Ramirez will take a sip. He says, "It's not my first time getting hit in this game." Pours some water over his head and resets as both teams will do the same. Gets a nice round of applause here at Bourne Park. Puts back on the umpire batting helmet, having a word with Commodores catcher Bear Harrison, and what is a moment where both teams now need to get back. Though it is the biggest pitch of this game upcoming. Harrison gets the ball from Ramirez, throws it back to his right-handed pitcher in Robbie Porco. Porco will go back to toe the first base side of the rubber with Cade Lewis at third base, Braden Holcomb at second, and Campbell Smithwick at first. The bases are loaded for Bourne. Full count to Ryan Cooney in this 5-3 Commodores lead. We've gone to the bottom of the eighth with Porco at the belt. Payoff pitch is off. And, of course, it's spoiled back by Ryan Cooney. This one goes off of the press box behind home plate at Durham Park. Full count again from Porco. Nowhere to put him. The pitch. So a touch home plate. That's all he has to do to preserve this 5-3 Commodores lead. Porco comes in with the bases loaded and 2 outs and gets out of it unscathed. It's still a 5-3 Commodores lead. Entering the top of the ninth, we are set up for an exciting finish in the 10th game of the Cape Cod Baseball League season. The Doors look for their last chance potentially for insurance. It's 5-3 Falmouth entering the top of the ninth on Cape League TV.
I'm Ben Royo, shortstop from Texas A&M University, and you're listening to Commodores Baseball on Cape League TV.
Back in the top of the ninth inning from Durham Park in Bourne, Massachusetts, the Falmouth Commodores potentially having their last ups, in which it will be the middle third of the order. Or, excuse me, one more after that. 5, 6, and 7 due up for Falmouth. Starts with the pinch hitter Ben Royer for a new pitcher with the Bravos in this 5-3 Commodores lead. They'll send up Max Bayless.
Rising junior from Santa Clara who will be with the U.S. Collegiate National Team training camp next week, and for good reason, it is all West Coast Conference.
First pitch from Bayless is a strike on the outer third, 82 miles an hour. The breaking ball slows up to for the defensive replacement, Ben Royo. He played second base all in the bottom of the eighth. Now sees first at bat to lead off the ninth. Second pitch from Bayless. It's a strike taken middle. No balls, 2 strikes for this 5-3 Commodores lead.
Bayless had 105 strikeouts this season. That is unbelievable.
Not bad for the rising junior at Santa Clara. Righty on righty, the 0-2. Swing and a miss. This one goes low. And it's going to be the catcher and Campbell Smithwick who will just tag Royo sprinting out of the right-handed batter's box. Quick and quiet first strikeout from Bayless to begin what could be his final appearance on Cape Cod. So Royo came in to pinch hit. Moving to 1 for 17 on the summer so far. Guy looking to improve and has improved on a slower start. Here's Kent Schmidt, the lefty. First pitch to the Georgia Tech first baseman. It's taken right down the zone for a strike. No balls and 1 strike with 1 out in the top of the ninth now for Falmouth. Looking to add some insurance for a 5-3 Doors lead. Lefty on righty, the 0-1. Runs upstairs and outside on Kent Schmidt. 1 ball, 1 strike now to Schmidt, who's 1 for 4 so far today. Pair of groundouts, the 2 RBI double, and a flyout. 1-1. That one bounces off of home plate, takes that awkward sound. Thought for a moment it might have clipped the back left foot of the lefty Schmidt, but instead it's just a 2-ball, 1 strike count.
Ball had so much spin on it. It hit the top of the screen behind home plate. Physics are cool.
Very. 2 balls, 1 strike to Schmidt. Schmidt sends this one into center field. Just having to take a few steps into it before putting the glove down, and catching the line out is John LeGrand. 2 quick outs for Falmouth between the 5 and 6 batters. Now 2 gone on the top of the ninth for Mark Quattroni.
It'll be interesting to see what Falmouth does in the bottom of the ninth. You've kind of already, I wonder if Joe Sawith is going to come out. We haven't seen him for even more than 1 inning in his first 3 appearances, but to potentially have him go for the 9-out save, I'd be asking a lot.
Quattroni watches the first pitch upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes with 2 outs in the top of the ninth inning. Still a 5-3 Commodores lead. Quattroni trying to show the power and contact in the transfer portal. 1-0. Low and away, making 2 balls and no strikes to the former Cornell Big Red backstop. 9-1-2 will be due up in the bottom of the ninth for Bourne. As scheduled would be Nick Groves, John LeGrand, who you just saw and heard make that catch, and Gavin Kelly. 2-0 now to Quattroni. It's a ball inside. 3 balls, no strikes. First time we've seen Max Bayless, rising junior from Santa Clara, get behind an account. Quattroni's already reached on a free pass earlier today. Hit by a pitch in the second. 3-0. Strike middle that Quattroni was watching the entire time. 3 balls and 1 strike. Quattroni added a strikeout in the 4th and a pair of groundouts. Makes his line 0-for-3 so far today. 3 balls and 1 strike. Pitch from Bayless. Curveball drops into the outer third of the zone. Scoreboard's all lit up now for the transfer portal catcher and DH in today's contest against the Braves. 3 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. The pitch from Bayless. Cracked at and spoiled by Quattroni. Might have fouled off of his forward-facing left foot. Big Gimpy as he goes over to the grass, past near the Bourne on-deck circle. Seven hits for 5 runs today for Falmouth. Braves accounted with 3 runs on 4 hits, having that error in the field as well. Quattroni could be the last chance for the Doors to get a bit of insurance and preserve the lead heading into the bottom of the ninth. Payoff pitch is tipped foul into the mitt of the backstop, Campbell Smithwick. 2 strikeouts and a quick inning of work for Max Bayless. He does his job, keeps us just a 2-run Falmouth lead. 3 up, 3 down for the Commodores on top of the 9th. It's Porco coming out to face 9-1-2 for this Bravos lineup. It's a Bourne team that needs 2 runs to preserve this 3-game winning streak. 5-3 Falmouth. We'll talk to you in the bottom of the 9th on Cape League TV. Just 3 days ago, this Bourne Braves team that's hosting tonight from Doran Park in Bourne, Massachusetts, walked it off versus the Katuitt Kettleers, and now it's the Bravos, winners of 3 straight, in a similar position against the Falmouth Commodores, who look to break a 3-game losing streak. Bottom of the 9th, Commodores up 5-3 over the Bravos with 9-1-2 due up. Welcome back to Cape League TV. Ryan Martin alongside Andrew Delapiano as Nick Groves looks to be the first batter to best Robbie Porco, and Porco's first appearance on Cape Cod came in a pressure situation. Bases loaded with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning, but got a strikeout to get out of it. Now the Illini right fielder to start a rally for the Bravos, who trail by 2. First pitch from Porco. It's a strike middle on Groves. No balls, 1 strike to begin the bottom of the 9th inning. And in this 3-game winning streak, Andrew, we talked about, this is where Bourne has done so well. You had the walk-off, you had the 1-run win at Orleans yesterday. Porco, the 0-1. Ball outside for Groves. 1 ball and 1 strike now from the West Virginia Mountaineer righty.
And just a clutch group that's, as you alluded to a couple times, 3 straight division titles for a reason.
1 ball, 1 strike. Porco delivers the pitch. Ball spiked in front of Groves. The lefty won't take the black bat off his back left shoulder. Stop there from Bear Harrison, and Ramirez, the home plate umpire, is again jostled by the wild pitch. He'll take a knee for a moment before stepping back up. Ramirez, who stopped a few times in that last inning. After getting hit, he'll wave off any needing help from athletic trainer support. Crouch back down for the 2 ball, 1 strike count. Porco sets the belt, looks in, delivers. Swing and a miss there from Groves. Count evens at 2 to begin the 9th inning. Again, the card will flip back over to the St. John's center fielder in John LeGrand. He reached base with a 2 RBI single a couple innings ago. He'd love to have Groves on base and become the tying run at the dish. Porco, look in for the 2-2. Swing and a miss. 2nd consecutive strikeout to start Robbie Porco's Cape League tenure. It comes to end the 8th and now to begin the 9th with Nick Groves.
You want to talk about making a statement? It kind of reminds me of how Easton Barrett came in his first appearance and really just shoved for 4 innings. Getting a similar feeling with how Porco's been so far. Now it's righty to lefty in John LeGrand. He's 1 for 2 so far today with a pair of walks. Again from Porco, delivers the first pitch. Strike on the inner third. Again, that fastball comes in at 93 for Porco. On this lefty versus righty matchup. Porco stepping up for the moment, delivering 2 big strikeouts across the first 2 batters he faces for this 2-run Commodores lead. Now looks, the 0-1 is into the air, into left field, and it'll get past the diving reach of Carl Schmidt. LeGrand
Goes to first, takes a turnaround second, he's heading for third. And Carl Schmidt puts his hands up in left field. We'll see when this one goes out of play. But John LeGrand is standing off of third base right now in what will at least be 2 bases for the St. John's center fielder with 1 gone in the bottom of the 9th. Over there is third base umpire and Timothy Carey. I'll make the call. Is it going to be LeGrand who heads back to second, or does that ball go out of play by the time that LeGrand is already on his way to third? It's going to be the St. John's center fielder who takes a slow walk back over to second. He should be on with a 1-out double.
Got kind of stuck up in the fence way down the left field line just in front of Bourne's bullpen, where there's a little crevice where the ball can get stuck. And that's exactly what happened. It's an automatic double for John LeGrand.
About as good of a time as any that you can ask for the Braves to have their first extra base hit. Sends up for Gavin Kelly. First pitch to Kelly is a chopper right over Porco's head, over to Ben Royer, the second baseman, throws over to Schmidt. He'll have to crouch down, but squeezes down the second out in the bottom of the 9th. So now it's do or die time from Cade Lewis. How about a 1-pitch ground out that Porco induces after the 1-out double?
Yeah, not the at-bat you wanted from Kelly, especially after a little bit of jolt of momentum to get that runner in scoring position.
On the play, LeGrand does advance from second to third. But LeGrand means nothing if Cade Lewis can't get on. Commodores 5, Braves 3. Bottom of the 9th with 2 gone. Falmouth looks to break a 3-game losing streak, while Bourne looks to extend a 3-game winning streak. Lefty on righty. First pitch from Porco. Check swing by Lewis. Doesn't matter as that one hits the top of the zone. Fastball in at 93 miles an hour for a no ball, 1-strike count. Time called as the bat boy for Bourne has to get behind the netting, and does so. Porco slow at the belt, the 0-1. It's a ball just the shoelaces of the lefty and Cade Lewis. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lewis led off the 8th inning with a single. Now the last hope for Bourne. Last hope for this 3-game winning streak. He's looking for his second hit in as many innings. Porco, the 1-1. Swing and fouled back into the home plate netting. Commodores fans in attendance start to get the claps going. Their Doors are 1 strike away from escaping with this 2-run win. Porco changes out the balls. Now takes a look at his pitch comm device again, just under his brown tan glove that sits in his left hand. It's a signal from his catcher, Bear Harrison. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Porco looks, and the pitch. Just outside. Lewis will off-rat it. Deuces run everywhere at 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 gone in the bottom of the 9th. And this Bourne team down by 2. The game-tying run is in the left-handed batter's box with the designated hitter, Cade Lewis. Porco, the pitch. Swing and a miss. Morrison gets the glove to it behind the dish. It's a big 3rd strikeout for Robbie Porco in his first appearance as a Door. And the Commodores are back in the win column for the first time in a 4-game span. They win this one at Dorn Park over the Bourne Braves by a 5-3 score.
Got a little tensy at the end, no doubt. Doors put up that 4 spot, and you feel a little bit more comfortable than the 2 runs in the 7th Avenue. You're like, all right, that's all right. Still got 2 more runs of insurance, but the way Bourne fought back in this one, that 7th, 8th, 9th, where they were putting a lot of chances and a lot of positions to potentially tie this ball game, but you gotta give a lot of credit to the way the Commodores bullpen battled in this one, especially under some tough circumstances. Devin Sheeran didn't have his stuff tonight. Joe Sabbath was pretty solid in his performance, but how about Robbie Porco in his first game on the Cape, setting the tone, coming out in the late stages of the 8th into the 9th. Did allow that 1-out double to put LeGrand on, but cool, calm, and collected. Really didn't matter, and the Doors pick up a much-needed victory to kind of snap this mini skid.
Falmouth moves to 4-6 on the season, while Bourne drops to 4-5-1 on the campaign. You mentioned what we saw out of Porco. He was great with those 3 strikeouts. Falmouth, 5 runs on 7 hits, None of those 7 hits came after, though, the 5th inning. The most recent hit was the 2 RBI double for Kent Schmidt to score those 2 important runs in this 2-run win for the Commodores. It's a big win that now leads to a huddle down the first base line for Falmouth. Important as Falmouth gets back into the win column before an off day again tomorrow.
And I think that's the good momentum getting into your next off day, where you needed something to feel good to get out of this rut. This has not been a phenomenal week for the Commodores, starting on Saturday with that loss to Wareham, and then it snowballs into Sunday with the come from behind victory for YD. That's one of the better teams in the league. You had them on the ropes to win that game. Even last night, that's a really good Hyannis team. Didn't think, there was really a point in the game where they could have won that. But from that point on, after the 4 runs, you just needed to get the job done. And whether it was your pitching or your hitting that had to will your way to victory, I think they were just fortunate enough to have a spot where the bullpen was really solid throughout, and your offense you didn't have to rely on too heavily in this one.
And 5 runs is all it takes for Falmouth. On the other side, it's 3 runs on 5 hits and an error for Bourne. I mentioned that 2 RBI double as the latest hit for Falmouth. That was courtesy of Georgia Tech first baseman Kent Schmidt. Those 2 runs became so important, and now Kent Schmidt is now standing alongside the 3rd member of our team with William Rosen. Will?
Brian, joined by Kent Schmidt. Kent, the bats were on tonight, especially early on. What was working offensively for your team?
I think we kind of just had a better approach overall. Didn't get too big with runners in scoring position, which we have been the last games. But I don't know. We've been hitting the ball hard, kind of just right at people. Some started falling a little today, but no, it was just better approaches overall.
You say better approach. You close out the win. You stayed in it for 9 innings. How important is it to stay in for all 9?
I mean, it's fun. That's what baseball is. I mean, yeah, it's not much to say about it, but yeah, it's fun.
Your team is having some fun right now. You have a break tomorrow, then you're back for the weekend. What's your mindset heading into the weekend?
Keep having fun, grind at bats, hopefully win some more. Well, we will win some more, but yeah, just keep having fun.
Fun is the constant here. Thank you so much, Kent Schmidt.
Thank you.
Ryan, back to you.
Thanks so much, William. Appreciate you taking some time to sit with Georgia Tech first baseman Kent Schmidt. His 2 RBI double in the 5th inning proves to be the difference maker in this 5-3 Commodores win as Falmouth moves to 4-6 on the campaign. Andrew, a good win for Falmouth.
And a big part of that played by Kent Schmidt as well. We talked about when he delivered that 2-run double as part of that 4-run 5th inning. It was a massive sigh of relief from him, especially what happened last night and getting over the hump with the bases loaded. For him to deliver in such a big spot like that and honestly be the differential in this one with the 5-3 victory, it's a good sign for things to come for Kent Schmidt, who was a little bit slow getting out of the gate.
Solid moment for the ACC's leader in batting average, who had his first extra base hit of the summer. That'll do it here from Doran Park in this 5-3 Commodores win over the Bourne Braves. We want to thank you so much for tuning in. For the 3rd member of our broadcast team, William Rosen, and our producer wearing so many hats today, Dan Papillo. My partner, Andrew Delapiana. I'm Ryan Martin. Your final score for the final time tonight before we talk to you next on